What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning. 11:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in sunny South Florida. 86 degrees outside, man. It is nice and sunny and nice and hot. It always feels like a sauna, man, as this summer's drawing closer, so you know it's going to start getting hot. Hotter and hotter. All right, hold on a second. I'm trying to clean everything up here, getting ready for you guys. As you can tell, we got a lot of stuff on the board here today. So this would be really all over the place. Now, there's a lot of interesting news going on, and some that I might not have a story up that I can show you, but some that I'll just tell you about. We will see. I hope you're doing well. It is a Friday. I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this Friday for some reason. I don't know. It's been a long week. It's been a really long week. Let me go ahead and turn this music down. We can start talking now. As always, I love the relaxed moment. It is a YouTube channel that you can watch if you ever want some lo-fi, copyright-free music. This one particular one, and I think it's in the description link. It's there. It's there in the description. The link is there, and it's 12 hours, 12 hours of relaxing music. It's like lo-fi. It's all copyright-free supposedly, so you know we try to start the stream with it. So I appreciate them being around. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but let me just tell you, you know, it's been an interesting week for me. I think we talked about this last stream, and by the way, missed Monday stream. We'll talk a little bit about that, but I'm sorry, missed Monday stream. Haven't seen anybody all week long. My voice is a little bit hoarse, but it's gonna be okay. I need to drink more water, which, by the way, I need to grab a bottle of water. We'll do that in a moment. So, interesting week. I decided last time we streamed, we talked about this. I believe it was, did we stream on Sunday? I think it was Sunday. Jeez, I can't remember. But I was supposed to stream on Monday. I was up late, didn't really get a lot of sleep. I was working on some stuff. I started a course online. It's a computer science course through Harvard. And I realized that they had, and I think we did talk about this, and they have a bunch of courses that you can take for free. And in fact, let me see if I can bring this up on the screen here somewhere. One of the things that I found is that you can get a certification through any of these. Oh, did I? Hold on. Yeah. Anyways, you can get a cert from any of these courses. And that's really good. You know, if you're looking to get a job, hey, if you got some certificates underneath you that have to do with the training and stuff and what you've been learning, that actually helps you. So I figured, hey, if I'm going to do these courses, I might as well go ahead and get those certs. Okay, sorry, I was bringing this up. Sorry, I was pausing there for a second like a robot. All right, let me take a look and see if I can find the rest of these, but let's see. I gotta bring this up for a second. All right. Well, anyways, we'll try this. And I know I got a lot of stuff on the window here, so I'm just gonna make this big. Make this big, and then we'll bring this open, and we'll bring this over. So, all right. So we'll talk about this real quick. This is just the intro right now. So Computer Science 50, CS 50. There's a bunch of classes from Harvard that are available that you can take for free through this specific courseware Harvard site. But if you register through EDX, and just so you know this, you register through EDX for free. What is it? edx.org. And then you enroll for the course. Now make sure when you sign up for EDX that you do not sign up for the paid account. You have to sign up for a free account. You don't need to pay for this. And once you have that, you see how there's upgrade here? Yeah, you can upgrade to like $300 or $400, but you don't need to do that, because regardless, you're going to take this course, you're going to turn in your assignments because you can submit them directly from the courseware, and then you're going to get a certificate. They're going to tell you what to collect, what to send in order for you, and you do this all online. And you get a certificate of completion for that course. Now they have a bunch of them. They have intro to, you know, here's another one. This is obviously we're doing the Python first. We're 3 classes in. I think I'm starting my 4th class later today. And they're basically, you can do them every like once a week, but I'm doing them like every day. If I can do 2 a day, I'm doing that. And then the next one you can do an artificial intelligence with Python. That's an intro. Here's another one, web programming with Python and JavaScript, and introduction to cybersecurity. So there's a bunch of different ones, and they're all provided by Harvard. So these are all just Harvard University courses that you can actually take for free online. It is crazy. So I've been doing that for the past ever since like Sunday night, or I can't remember, it was Sunday or Saturday. I know we talked about it like Friday or Sunday, and then Brink and I were starting to do it, and we talked about it, and he told me about the EDX site, and I decided let's just do it the right way. So I've been doing that, and it's been keeping me busy. So because of that, I do a lot of it at night, and I go to bed really late. So Monday I was so tired, man. I didn't sleep well. My brain was still active, so I was constantly tossing and turning, and I'm like, there's no way I can stream today. And so I called off the stream, and I just focused on taking care of myself and taking care of things around the house here, and just even studying. So it's been a busy week. Other than that, this is my daughter, one of my daughter's last, actually no, next week she has 2 days, I think, or 1.5 days, but she'll be done. She's a junior in regular high school, and so she's been studying. I've been trying to make sure that she finishes strong, because if you kids are like, it's the end of the year, I don't have to worry, it's the last week, and I'm like, no, you still have to worry. So she's been doing that. I've been on top of that as well. So it's been a busy week, let's just say that. But there's been a lot of news going on the news in regards to the realm that I live in, which is tech, AI, gaming, life. And so I've been kind of reading up on this news, and I'm a little upset at some of this stuff, and I'm going to share why. But I think the story that's bothering me the most, and I'm going to start with this story. The story that's bothering me the most is this OpenAI case that Scarlett Johansson is complaining that her voice has been cloned to be the version on ChatGPT that's called, I think they called her Sky. That was in all the demos. And someone said it sounded a lot like her. It sounds a little bit like her, but I wouldn't say it sounds completely like her. I love when my camera starts acting crazy. All right, there we go. Anyways, I wouldn't say it sounds a lot like her, but it does sound somewhat like her. But I think what happened here is, we're going to read these stories. I think I have 2 or 3 of these, and they're all about kind of the same thing. But I wanted to point out some things that people are getting wrong in these articles. But either way, let's just say this. This all started from the time when Sam Altman, I believe that's his last name, from OpenAI, when he tweeted just one word, her. Her. Now, if you've seen this movie is about basically a artificial intelligence operating system that this lonely guy falls in love with. And the voice, it's a great movie, by the way. It's really interesting to see, because you can see this totally happening. Now, what's interesting about this movie is that the voice of the operating system is played by Scarlett Johansson. So immediately when we went ahead and Sam Altman went ahead and tweeted her as just a one line, and then the demo of the ChatGPT voice-enabled model that they have now sounded like her, immediately people in their head already had Scarlett Johansson's voice in their head because of that one tweet. This is the way it works. I think there's a video somewhere. If you look this up, there's a video somewhere where there is a word on the screen and there's a sound playing in the background. And they'll put a word on the screen, and when you're reading that word, that's the sound, or you hear these people chanting that word. If they change the word and you're reading a different word, Now you're hearing that word being chanted over and over. And it all has to do with when you see something, you immediately start having something in your head as that's what's coming next. So I think this has a lot to do with it. The fact that everybody in their head was thinking Scarlett Johansson from Her, and when they watch the demos and there is a resemblance, but not a lot to say that's exactly her, everyone was like, "Oh my God, it sounds like Scarlett Johansson," and they started this whole conversation about that. Now, here's the problem: when they came out with this story, and I'm going to start with this one here. This story is these are a couple of days old. And yesterday or the day before yesterday, some news came out. I believe it was yesterday. I'm up late, so I don't even know anymore. But anyhow, this is the news piece that came out here first. Let's go ahead and look at this one. OpenAI just gave away the entire game. And it's written that says Scarlett Johansson's debacle in microcosm, whatever, of AI's raw deal. It's happening and you can't stop it. And if you read through this article, which is, where is this from, by the way? This is from The Atlantic. If you read through this article, it's basically saying in plain English that OpenAI cloned her voice after she had rejected their offer. And so that's actually not true. That's what people thought and assumed because of the fact that it says here, if you're looking to understand the philosophy, let's go through this. So the story, according to Johansson's lawyers, goes like this. 9 months ago, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman approached the actor with a request to license her voice for a new digital assistant. Now, Johansson declined. So Scarlett declined. She didn't want to be in it. And then she alleges that just 2 days before the company's keynote event last week, in which the assistant revealed as part of the new system called ChatGPT, Altman reached out to Johansson's team, urging the actor to reconsider 2 days before they released. Now, if you haven't played with ChatGPT, the voice one, you'll know that there are multiple voices. There's like Juniper, Amber, I forgot what this other one is. They're here somewhere. They're on my phone. But there's like 5 or 6 different voice options that you can choose. They all sound different. I think 3 of them are guys and 3 of them are girls. I think it's something like that. And the one in particular that they say that sounds like Scarlett Johansson is the one called Sky. So that was the argument. And they're basically saying that based on this assumption, they approached her 9 months ago. She declined. And 2 days before they release it, Sam reached out to her again and said, would you reconsider? Because they really wanted her to be the voice. And the reason why they wanted her to be the voice is because she was already the voice in the movie for the artificial intelligence in that operating system of that movie. So they thought this would be great publicity. But she didn't want anything to do with it. Now, 2 days later, in the demo that we all watched, the voice sounds very similar. But here's what they don't get. So that article just bashes that. If you read through this article, and I read through it already, they basically just say Sam Altman went forward without her permission and cloned her voice from all the takes from the movie Her and everything else that's available of hers online and created an AI that speaks like her. That's what they're alleging. That did not happen. I'm going to go ahead and close the story because I really don't care about that story anymore. And there's another article here by CNN that also gets it wrong. And it says here, some AI, and I'm going to make this a little bigger for you. It says here, oh, there we go. Right at the top, shocking. Some AI developers didn't listen when a woman rejected their offer. And that's their clickbait. They're immediately throwing you under the table with this and being like, oh, look at this. She said no, and they still did it. They didn't do that, people. And this pisses me off when, and this is why I'm saying this particular article or story really pissed me off, because I hate when the media does this. They don't have the full story. And instead of just stating the facts and saying we're still uncovering the story, they go ahead and give their assumption. And that's not what happened. So CNN got it wrong also. CNN sucks anyways. But by the way, I'm not saying because Fox is any better. Neither one is good. But they just suck. And they got this one wrong. So now let's go to the more recent story. And this is from the Washington Post. And this came out, when was this? The 23rd, May 23rd. By the way, when was CNN's? May 22nd. Okay, so a day later, like I said, they didn't have all the information and they're making assumptions. This article comes out, and this is from the Washington Post. Now, there are other articles in regard to this. So here it is. OpenAI didn't copy Scarlett Johansson's voice for ChatGPT, and the records show it. A different actress was hired to provide the voice for ChatGPT's Sky, according to the documents and recordings shared with the Washington Post. So these documents and recordings have been shared with this news outlet. So it's not like they're just making it up. Not only that, if you read through this, and of course, it's just going through the same story of she said they were using her voice. They tried to hire her. She said no. And then because she was a girl from the movie from 2013 in Her, and she said no. And then they came back to her to ask to reconsider, but she still said no. And then the voice was there. Well, according to this here, there is an agent that works for, obviously they keep these voices of these voice actors anonymous, and they don't want to be out in the spotlight. So they have an agent, and an agent talks for them. So here it is right here. Let me see. All right, so I'll read this. But while many hear an eerie resemblance between Sky and Johansson's, her character, an actress was hired in June to create the Sky voice months before Altman contacted Johansson, according to the documents, recordings, casting directors, and the actress's agent. So the agent who spoke on the condition on being anonymous, there's certain words I can't say, by the way, to assure the safety of her client, said the actress confirmed that neither Johansson nor the movie Her were ever mentioned by OpenAI. The actress's natural voice sounds identical to the AI-generated Sky voice, based on a brief recording of her initial voice test viewed by the Post. The agent said that the name Sky was chosen to signal a cool, airy, and pleasant sound, which, by the way, it is. OpenAI paused the use of Sky and ChatGPT on Sunday, publishing a blog post detailing the lengthy process of developing 5 different AI voices. So there were 5. So anyhow, so there it is there. They had no intention of getting someone that sounded like Johansson. It just happens to be that this girl sounds a little bit like her. Now, we can go on to read this article that basically the actress even says no one in her real life has ever said to her that she sounds like Scarlett Johansson. So she doesn't hear it, and no one else hears that. There might be some resemblance. It's also because they might have similar traits, but that maybe same age and whatnot, but it's not the same person, obviously. And so because of that, it's really upsetting and annoying that articles like the ones prior to this came out blaming OpenAI and making assumptions that they cloned through AI somebody's voice to use that. Because articles like that and news like that or talk like that tends to bring down AI or bring down any kind of movement forward. Now, I know there's a lot of things that we fear with artificial intelligence. I know there's a lot of people that are skeptical. I know a lot of people believe that they're going to take it's going to take my job. You know, there's all these like worries, and I get it. But at the same time, let's not just call something bad and make up stories either, because that's not good. We've seen that in politics. We've seen that with commercial products. We've seen that with a lot of things. People do this all the time. And then when they don't like something, they try to make it sound as bad as possible so that people stay away from it. And the more people stay away from it, maybe they can stop it. And that's the problem with this kind of stuff. This whole Scarlett Johansson complaining thing is so dumb. It is. It is dumb. What's up, brother? Good to see you, by the way. So that's the thing. So there it is. And by the way, since we're on the topic real quick on taking my job, AI is taking my job. I want to mention one thing about that, because I was listening to the Prime Agent, and there was a video that he was watching, and he made a very good point. he had a very good take on this. It's people that are saying that AI is replacing them or AI is going to replace their job and they're going to be fired. It's not that easy. And what he was explaining was that even in, like, we're going to talk about it in programming, somebody that does coding and programming, and they're saying AI can now do it for them. And so therefore, you don't need to be paying high dollars for a programmer when you have a junior assistant be able to bring up code if they have a little bit of knowledge in reading code and making sure it's correct. Well, the problem is that it's not as easy as, okay, you're fired and we're going to start doing this right away. There's a process to it. And not only that, you have to also consider that you have to take into conversations with your clients that they're aware that you're using AI now instead of a real programmer. Because guess what? Some clients are not going to be happy about that. There's so many different layers to it that have not even been talked about, that it's not as easy as, we don't need you anymore, we have AI. That process still needs to be put in place. Checking if it's correct still needs to be put in place. Testing of what comes out still needs to be, there's so many things. And so therefore, anyone that's sitting here like fearing that in the next couple of days or even the next month they're going to lose their job because of AI, it's not true. Now, there are some jobs that are affected, and we'll be honest with it. Customer service, there will be, it's going to go down. It's true, because of the fact that if we have a talking AI that can deal with customer service, that'd be great. But again, the implementation and acceptance of this stuff takes time. Now, this is the only thing I'm going to say about this to close it up. If you are concerned that AI is going to take your job, learn AI. Why? Because you still need a human being to run it. Get familiar with what AI can do in your field, in your industry. What can you do with artificial intelligence? Let's just talk with ChatGPT. If you're a person that writes, creates content, reviews content, creates code, whatever it is, if you're afraid that ChatGPT is going to take your job, then learn how to use ChatGPT for your industry and how you can make your life easier and your boss's life easier and make more money faster. If you can do those things and you can show them that you can manage it and still be a good part of the team because you're bringing value, maybe that will help. I'm not going to say that every single company is going to keep their people just because they learn it, but that is a really good chance that you're going to have an opportunity to keep your job. And because of the fact that you adapted, not adopted. It could be adopted, but you adapted AI into your workflow. And that's it. Just keep that in mind. It's the same thing with graphic designers. Some I know art is great, and hand art is even great too. And people, marketing companies that hire graphic designers, hire them for their style and their technique and, their portfolio. But if they see that they can get almost the same results from AI, they're going to start leaning towards that. So what do? As a graphic designer, incorporate AI into your workflow so that you're making, I would say, even better graphics, or getting a head start on your graphic and then touching it up and making it your own, whatever. But the point is that if you show that you have an interest of adapting with the technology that's coming out, you'll have a better chance of keeping your job. That's it. It's plain and simple. That's my take on it. All right. I'm going to close this one out. By the way, if you haven't seen that movie, Her, you need to see it. It's just, if you're techie and you're into all this stuff, you'll enjoy it. It's kind of pathetic, though, when you watch and you're like, how can this guy be in love with an AI? You'll understand when you watch the movie. Okay. Let me see. Quick news here. This is quick. Otherwise, just going over news. We might play something later. I don't know. See how I feel. My throat's really killing me right now, though. Let's see how I feel. All right. This is a quick one. All right, here we go. So we got rumor claims Microsoft is preparing a $16 billion offer to acquire Valve. Now, if you know who Valve is in the gaming industry, you also know that they own Steam. The Steam is the gaming platform where we buy all our games. Yeah. So I heard this, and I don't know why this isn't working. So I heard this, and by the way, it's just a rumor right now. I haven't seen anything else, but it's just a rumor. And it says it's basically claiming a $16 billion package is being created in order to acquire it. There have been plenty of rumors over the years claiming that major game publishers have put in offers to acquire Valve, the company behind huge IPs like Half-Life and Portal. Given that Valve also owns and operates the Steam store, the company that has never exactly been hurting for cash, so this idea that anyone will be able to buy them has often been scoffed at. However, that isn't stopping this from popping up in headlines again this week, as it has claimed that Microsoft is preparing an offer. Is this even possible? We don't know. Like they said, it's not like Steam is hurting for money. They're doing a great job. Now, it's $16 billion enough for like Valve to be like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm out. I don't know. But they're talking about it. So this guy, Dior, a gaming focused creator who is known in the Counter-Strike community, has claimed to have heard that Microsoft is preparing a $16 billion offer to acquire Valve Corporation, a deal that would also presumably include Steam Store. It's the most popular PC gaming platform. There are plenty of reasons why this would be good sense for Microsoft, as the company is desperate to get into the handheld market. And that is true. I didn't even think about that. Something that Valve already has a foothold in thanks to their Steam Deck. Beyond that, it would vastly improve Microsoft's PC gaming revenue, as owning Steam Store is essentially like owning a money printer. This is very true, and this is why I don't see why Steam would give this up. Because that's a money maker, man. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? And how do we feel about Microsoft owning Steam? I mean, that's the only real place that I buy games these days. I mean, for a long time. Don't sell to Microsoft. That never ends well. What's up, Troy? How's it going? If that happens, it's the end of gaming industry as a whole. See, and I think a lot of people feel that way. The Steam Store is a money printer with some estimates putting in at over $10 billion per year in revenue. So how is a $16 billion package going to be like worth it for them? You know what I mean? If they're making $10 billion a year in revenue, I mean, how is that even? That doesn't even bring me to the table. I'm like, bro, I'll make about half of that or more than half of that in 1 year. Yeah, and they're saying then there's nowhere to go. Microsoft is going to greed it up. It kind of feels like it would be another monopoly. Like they're trying to monopolize by grabbing all the games. I mean, because think about it. Steam is the PC platform where you go to buy games. I mean, yeah, there's Ubisoft and there's Rockstar and there's Epic Games and there's what's the other one? EA Origins. Yeah, there's other platforms that you can go to buy. But for the most part, I think the one that everyone buys from, because all the indie games are there, every other brand is there, all the publishers are there, is Steam. If it's a PC game, you're going to find it on Steam. More than likely. 9 times out of 10. Then Sony would buy Epic and we'd all be SOL. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's getting a little crazy. I mean, let these companies exist on their own. Why do we have to buy them out? I mean, it's not like any of them are hurting. It's almost like they feel like, guys, listen, we're spread out too thin. Let's everybody win. You'll get a big chunk of money and then we'll consolidate everything in one place. Why are we competing for this space? No, competition is good. And not only that, I mean, it's like it gives you options. First thing they will do is online play is not free anymore. Online play. Oh gosh. Well, which online play are we talking about? Well, by the way, I just hate the idea. One of the things that I really dislike the most is the fact that I don't honestly, okay, I'm going to sound like an ancient relic here. I really love having a DVD, or, well, they would be DVDs now, they wouldn't be CDs, but having a physical product of a game, I miss that. I hate the fact that you just download a game and you play it, but if that file gets corrupted or whatever, then you have to re-download it. You know, it's you have to reinstall it again by downloading it from the platform. But what if the platform doesn't exist anymore? Or what if they discontinued the game and then now you don't play anymore? It's the same thing with buying a game that only runs on a server. You have to have an online connection to play on a server. And so the game is not local. Part of it is local, but the majority is on their server. And then guess what? What if they stop supporting that server? And now the game is dead because there's no no local single player version. That's the other thing. That's the stuff that drives me nuts. I like having a physical product that I install and everything runs local on my machine, and I have the option to be online if I wanted to. They'd 100% absorb it into Microsoft Store, Xbox, and Steam would die. Yeah, it would just become the Xbox Store. There would be no more. I mean, it wouldn't be Steam anymore. It's like, this is where you go now. Let's see. It's greed, never enough. Can't beat the competitors, buy them and break them up. Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is the name of the game. That's what people have done in the past. Playing online on Steam is free. Wait, what do you mean playing? I don't understand like the whole playing online on Steam. I need to see that. Multiplayer online. Oh, well, I mean, that's just PC games. I mean, the only time it costs money is when you're playing through a console. So that's why I misunderstood that. Because I mean, yeah, everything we play is free. It's through our PC. So who the hell are we going to be paying? The only thing that we end up paying for that's through our PC is like when we play like Blizzard, for example. If you're going to play World of Warcraft, you have to play a subscription. If you're going to play, what's another game? There's a lot of MMOs that are subscription based, which really sucks, by the way. It's funny. I recently had to, by the way, I got to cancel those accounts. I recently had to pay a subscription for a couple of different BattleNet accounts in order to move a character from a server that was going to be dead. The Maladev server's dying, basically. It's going to go away, so they're going to automatically move you somewhere else. And Solarith was the one who told me about this. And so when they move you to somewhere else, they decide where to throw you. So you had an option right now for free to move from Maladev to whatever server you selected. And so I did that. I had to do that because I didn't want to just get thrown. I wanted them all to be in one place together. Anyways, that's crazy. Yeah, if you play on console, you're paying them. If you want to play multiplayer online, you're paying for the console's multiplayer fee. Like, I think PlayStation's the PlayStation Network, and I guess Xbox has the, what is it, Xbox Gold or Xbox? I don't even know what the hell it is. My Xbox broke, so I don't have an Xbox anymore. With remote play together, you can invite your Steam friends to join your local co-op sessions remotely. Bro, that is over my head. I mean, I've never played like that. I mean, we play together, but I've never thought about it in that sense. But okay, now I know. Multiplayer. So that's multiplayer over stream. Okay, got it. So in other words, you just like click on your friend and say, "Hey, join my game," and they join your game. Only games that are allowed for multiplayer, though. Interesting. Well, that should be free. I don't see why. Man, if they change that, that would suck. So there's a lot of reasons why people don't want this. Obviously, I'm personally, I'm not interested in seeing Steam go away. I like Steam being free, or I should say, I like Steam being their own thing. It's where I keep all my games, and it kind of works out that way. You know, it's nice to have a library of my games, which is back here, by the way. You see, I just don't like the fact that I don't have a physical copy of my game. I don't know. I'm old fashioned that way. Speaking of old fashioned, I found this article. This is really interesting. I gotta get a water. If Microsoft takes Steam over, I guarantee that's gonna happen. We have played BG3 co-op like that. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so this is the disconnect that I'm having with that. I thought that came from the game itself, not from Steam. You understand? So in other words, when I launched Baldur's Gate, I don't think of Steam as enabling my gameplay. I think of the game itself is enabling my gameplay. And with friends or whatever, especially if it's multiplayer co-op, it's within the game. I just see Steam as the platform where I buy my game and it keeps my games. And when I connect to the game, I'm just connecting through them. But I don't consider them the avenue that I have to take in order to play with other friends. That's what I'm saying. So I didn't understand that. I'll be right back. So you're saying, okay, hold on. Ubisoft. I play Division 2. When we play Division 2 through Ubisoft, because I don't have it on Steam. I have it on its own. Let me take a break for a second. Hope from this. Let me understand this. If I'm playing Division 2 that's installed on my machine, that I did not get it through Steam, and we played together. We all got together co-op and we played. That's free. That's through the game. The ability to connect together is available through, you have friends, and I guess that's controlled through Ubisoft. Okay. So you're saying that if Microsoft buys Steam, they're going to roll it into their Game Pass, and you'll have to have a Game Pass account in order to continue playing with your friends online. That's what you're saying. Which would really suck. Interesting. When I play Fortnite through Epic Games, I don't pay for anything. But if I want to play Fortnite on PlayStation, I have to pay for their account, their network. But not through Epic Games. But if you buy the game through Steam, it's different. So if I buy Division 2, because I think it's available through Steam, you're saying that the multiplayer part of it is coming from Steam now, not Ubisoft. But Fortnite is a good example because, yeah, I didn't realize that until the other day. Because when I play, like, if I launch Epic Games, and by the way, it's the same account, whether you do Epic Games or whether you do PlayStation, you're playing your same account. But okay, I launch it on Epic Games and it's for free. Like I can basically, did I pay? I don't even know. Did I pay for the game? Well, I did a long time ago, maybe for the Founder Edition or something. But okay, so I'm playing it for free. However, it's a free game that anybody can download, right? Is that what Fortnite's free? I don't think you pay for anything unless you buy stuff. So, but if I played it on PlayStation, which is a free download, I don't have to pay for the game. I still have to pay them to be able to play it through PlayStation. That sucks. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that for my games. In fact, it's the same thing with Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption 2. If I play it online on PC, and I play their multi version. Sorry, I gotta shake this. If I play their multiplayer version, the online, when I play it on through Steam or even through Rockstar, it's free. If I play it on PlayStation, which I have before, I had to have a PlayStation Network account. Whatever it's called. I don't even know what the hell it's called. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. I agree with that. I think that is a bad thing. Let me put this down here so I can see. I don't know why this is so difficult to do. So interesting. I'm just reading comments. But if you buy the physical copy, you have to play through the actual company that made the game, or you go on Steam and put the code in there. Yeah, so it's either you're doing it through Steam or you're doing it through the company. Not always different, but Steam can provide the multiplayer in some cases if the game doesn't. I've never seen that. I don't know what example that would be, that the game doesn't have multiplayer, but you're saying you can play multiplayer automatically with Steam. That I've never seen. That doesn't sound true to me, because I would think that has to be built into the game. Like, I don't think Baldur's Gate 3 has servers for multiplayers, right? Well, wait a second. I mean, it is a co-op game. So when we multiplayer, hold on, let me see. When we multiplayer, one player hosts and Steam handles the connection to the other. I don't know. I really don't know how that works. I'll have to look at that. I'm trying to think of, I mean, I guess how else would it work, right? Somebody has to handle that connection. Yeah, we're getting in the weeds on this. But yeah, Microsoft would screw it up. It would make it even more complicated. I agree that I believe that Microsoft would make Steam part of their Game Pass, and then you would have to pay that monthly, whatever it's called, Game Pass, I think. You would have to pay that monthly fee in order to use the online parts of the games, which would suck, because technically those games should play without any kind of monthly subscription. Now, the only thing with okay, so this is the only thing with Game Pass, is that if let's say, hypothetically, if Microsoft buys Steam and they roll Steam into their Game Pass and make all the games available on their Game Pass, does that mean that all the games would be available to us for one monthly fee? And if that's the case, then we would never have to buy a game again, because we just pay for our Game Pass and use the game there. A game sometimes will leave the servers for Steam, depends how big the company. Obviously, goodbye online free. Yeah, so I don't know. So I think the only trade-off would be is if you're able to play the game. I mean, play any game. A lifetime fee. Well, I mean, yeah. So let's see, what would it be? What are they now? Like $10? Okay, you'd say they're $15 a month. I don't know what they are, but I'm just gonna say let's $15 a month, even if they hiked up the price. 10 months, we're looking at $150, 1,530, $180 a year. $180 a year to play any game that comes out on PC. Well, in console also. 180. So that's basically if the games stay at $59 each, that's basically 3 AAA games. That's so playing every game that comes out available for 180 a year versus only paying for 3 AAA games. Yeah, the monthly fee will go up. That's what I'm saying about 15. I don't know what it is actually. I thought it was like $10 to $12. You don't believe it's any game they actually choose? Oh, okay. I thought that they had this. I thought that they had something that said like all the new games. Play the new games here now. You know, something like that on day one. That sucks then. I don't know. I'm not sure what the correct thing is. Yeah, just bottom line is, yeah, I don't want to pay extra to play with my friends. That's kind of why I'm like leaning away from Sony. And honestly, the only reason why I'm even paying for a Sony account right now is because my daughters actually play Fortnite on the PlayStation. But there's a PC behind me over here, and that's going to be for one of my daughters. If she wants to play Fortnite, she can play on there. So that way she's not using her PlayStation anymore. But now I need to get the other one off of it. And so as soon as that's gone, then I could turn off my account. I could just play locally. I don't have to play with anybody else. I don't like playing with people anyway, so you guys know that. I'm kidding. Anyways, so there you go. That's a hot topic. Amazing enough, you start talking about gaming and people having to pay more and taking your gameplay away, and people get upset. Fortnite on Steam is free. I don't have Fortnite on Steam. I have it on Epic Games. I didn't even know Fortnite was available on Steam. Okay. All right, moving on. So this is something that I found interesting. So a photographer sues a woman over her 90-year-old grandmother's wallpaper. And when I first read this, I was like, "What?" And I didn't understand. But here, basically, comes down to this. And at first, I thought it was this wallpaper, and I'm like, "What the hell?" It's actually this right here. All right, so here goes. A photographer has sued a woman who posted an image of her grandmother's apartment that featured his photo-based wallpaper on a vacation property rental website. In 2012, the grandmother renovated her apartment and legally purchased a photo-based wallpaper that included images taken by this photographer named Stefan Bohm, I think. I don't know. I can't say his name. Let's just call him Stefan. So Stefan, freaking name. He's upset. And this is the photograph here. Let me make this a little bigger. So this is the photograph here. The photo by photographer Stefan at the center of the copyright dispute. Photo from court documents. So he took a picture of this wall. I'm guessing this is somewhere in nature. And he took this picture and he sells this picture as wallpaper, as photo-based wallpaper. All right. 3 years later, the then 90-year-old grandmother was no longer able to live in her apartment alone and moved in with her granddaughter. So that she could maintain the cost of caring for her grandmother, the granddaughter took over the grandmother's apartment and rented it out as a vacation property. She advertised the apartment on a rental website and included photos of the property on the listing, which you would normally do. However, 8 years later, the granddaughter received a warning letter from copyright infringement. For copyright infringement from a Canadian company based. I'm reading ahead of myself. So she received a copyright infringement letter from a Canadian company because she had posted an image of a room in her grandmother's apartment that featured Stefan's photo-based wallpaper. Now here's the image right here. And so you see that wall in the back? That's a photo-based wallpaper of that image of like rocks, whatever. And so because she posted this on the vacation rental site, she's getting sued for copyright infringement. That's basically the story. There it is, right there. Okay. So Stefan spotted in the list, his work is spotted in the listing of photos for the apartment. According to a report from a German news publication, the photographer is now suing the granddaughter in Germany. So in the lawsuit, Stefan alleges that while he may have authorized the printing of his photo on the wallpaper, he did not authorize the reproduction of the photo on the wall in the image posted by the landlady on the vacation property rental website. Let me read that again because I wanted you to see how in the freaking weeds we go in this. Okay, listen to this. He authorized the printing of his photo on wallpaper, but he did not authorize, here it is, the reproduction of the photo on the wall in the image posted by the landlady on her vacation property rental website. Do you see how stupid this is? Does it? Oh my God. So Stefan, I'm not going to say his last name, claims that the making available of the photo of the wall is therefore an infringement of copyright law. Right there. Like someone's looking at that wall and like, I want that photo of that wall. A comparison of the photo and the wallpaper seen in the listing. I'm going to finish reading this and I'm going to read everything you guys are saying. So Stefan is also alleging that the grandmother infringed his moral rights because she did not find out that he was the photographer behind the wallpaper and did not credit him on the property rental website. Okay, so obviously the grandmother bought the wallpaper from a company that bought it from Stefan, obviously. So she didn't know who the hell this guy was. And if I have a wallpaper hanging on my wall, the last thing I'm going to do is be like, I wonder who designed this wallpaper. I need to find out exactly who it is. Nobody does that. Jeez. So he's pissed because he needs to be credited because his work is on that wallpaper that he sold to that other company. This other magazine reports that the photographer, who has a company registered in British Columbia, Canada, has been sending out warning letters and filing lawsuits in Germany. The German publication says that these lawsuits also extend to the upholsterers who install his photo wallpaper on behalf of customers and document the work online. So he's also suing people that are like the people that put up the wallpaper, and because they show this is the work I've done, and they put that on their website, he's suing them because they don't have the right to do that either. Holy crap. Okay, I got to read your thoughts on this because I'm losing my mind here. This is ridiculous. This is some ridiculous lawsuit. I want to know what you guys think. Holy cow. Rolling on the floor. What a joke lawsuit. US is like that. They are waiting for a chance to sue someone. It's not in the US, brother. This is Canada and Germany. This is not in the US. I think US courts would laugh at this. I don't know why any court would entertain this. So if anyone ever has that wallpaper on the wall in their home, they can't take family photos with the wall in the background ever and post them in social media. So I understand the difference between somebody taking a photo for social media, like here's a picture of my grandma and me, and it happens to be in that area with the picture in the back. They can't sue you for that because you're not making money off of that photo. However, this is where it gets really fishy. I think this guy is saying you're making money off of this property and you have my artwork in your house, therefore, and you're showcasing it, you need to pay me. Now that sounds ridiculous. That's almost like if you went to Starbucks. What if you went to Starbucks and you took pictures while you're in Starbucks or holding a Starbucks drink? I mean, I know if you were making a movie and you're getting paid for it and you feature Coca-Cola, Starbucks, or something, a drink in your movie, you have to pay them because yeah, you can't put their products in your movie. That's really what's weird. All right, let me read the rest. He's destroying the life of that lady. Yeah, he is. It's unbelievable. This is like the time Glenn Danzig tried to sue everyone in the world. I don't know that one. Literally for attention, just like when Danzig tried to sue everyone in the world for copyright infringement. I don't know that dude, but okay. I always thought this sue thing is more popular in the U.S. The lawsuits in the U.S. are more about like people are looking to sue the large companies, pretending to get hurt or pretending that their product has caused some kind of issue to them, and they immediately want to sue the big people. This type of lawsuit, as far as like this doesn't happen much, as far as like a photographer going suing some old lady. I mean, it's just stupid. This makes no sense. But yeah, the lawsuits for the other ones is if people like, oh, I'm hurt, oh, I'm gonna sue somebody. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so important to have liability insurance these days. That is truly ridiculous. That's like saying you can't sell your house without its permission to. That is true. This is where it becomes an issue. It's like you can't. There's two things here. Number one, he's saying, let me switch over to my full view for a second. So number one, he's saying that he's suing the lady because she's putting up pictures of her room that has his artwork in it, and she is making money off of it because it's a vacation property. And so therefore she's making money off it, and his artwork is selling the freaking room, then he should be compensated. That's not true. That's bullshit. Okay. It's like, so if there was a piece of art hanging on the wall, or wait, does that mean that anybody in here, like maybe, what about the person that made the other wallpaper in there? Could they be also suing because that? What about the person that made that cabinet? Their work is being shown without permission. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. But then what I find even more disturbing is that he wants to sue, or he is suing the guys that actually do the wallpaper work. In other words, with the ones that put up the wallpaper. The what are they called? It's not upholsterers. There's something else. The general contractors or whatever. The ones that come in and they make the room and they put up the wallpaper, and in the end, listen, if you do construction work, like if you do home remodeling and stuff like that, one of the things you do is you take before and after pictures and you show them on your website to show people the type of work you do. And this guy is suing those people also because of the fact that their portfolio includes his artwork is in that room. It's so stupid. This is the worst thing I've ever read. So every hotel in the world is therefore infringing on copyright from any picture on their hotel room wall. Exactly. That is really ridiculous. It is the most, it's just ridiculous. Let me read the rest. I'm going to read this rest to you and see where this ends. According to the German publication, Stefan previously tried to sue the granddaughter in the courts in Germany, but the photographer was unsuccessful in his legal attempts there. The regional court and the high regional court ruled that Stefan had implicitly granted a license by selling the wallpaper on the one hand, and that his lawsuit were an abuse of rights on the other. Absolutely, they got it right. Because of the fact that listen, he sold the wallpaper to a wallpaper. He sold his photo. Let's put it this way. He sold his photo to a wallpaper company. And gave them commercial rights to it. In other words, gave them the ability to sell it to other people. If I make a graphic, and I do this all the time, if I make a graphic, a clip art, anything, some kind of graphic, and I sell it on Etsy, and I write for personal and commercial use, they can turn around and put it on a product and sell it as many times as they want, and people can go and post it and so forth, and that's fine. What they can't do is they can't sell the actual graphic itself. And so, and I know there's also one other clause, and Brink knows this. There's one other clause that when you're selling graphic art, like clip art or graphics that are used in other products, there's something else that you put in that it's about posting that image on websites or on other places because of the fact that you don't want someone to steal it. So yes, you don't want them to take the image and then go post, like say, okay, this is the image, and then they're going to post that image on their social media or on their website without a product. That's just giving out the image away. Now, if they put the image on a product and they display the product because that's what they're selling, and the image happens to be on the product, there's nothing you can do about that. That's different. So I think this is where this stupid guy, Stefan, who the hell? I'm sorry, anybody out there named Stefan, I'm really sorry, but that's a stupid name. But you know, it's like anybody, especially when you do shit like this. If you sold your art to a wallpaper company and the wallpaper company has a license to actually sell it, you cannot then go out and sue the customers for displaying that wallpaper in their photos for rental properties, or sue the people that are putting it up and showing the work after for their portfolio. That's stupid. Yeah, he's going to get sued for harassment. Let's see. With other German courts have rejected his argument, the photographer is now hoping for a victory with his copyright case is heard in another region on June 27th. Previously hold on a second. I'm going to see that. He won a similar copyright case regarding an image with his photo-based wallpaper at this specific court where he's going to run. See, he knows the game. This German court, it's the Cologne Regional Court. He won last year, so he's filing it with that same court this year to get it again. The lawsuit is also against the landlady of a vacation apartment. This guy's trying to make money. Hold on a second, I gotta look at this. It's in German. Why can't I? Which ones agree? Zutimen. Let me define. One of these is agree. Translates. Zust. Demon. Agree. That's it. I thought that's what it was. Okay. Now this is in German, so I'm not going to translate any of this, but obviously I can understand. I guess there was another wallpaper. I don't see this guy's name on here though. This must be a different story. Okay, I'm not going to bring this up. It doesn't matter. This is a German website. But anyway, supposedly he won another case somewhere else on this. This is ridiculous that the court system would do that. When it comes to copyright, the Cologne Regional Court says that a strict duty of care applies, and that anyone who makes use of other people's photographs by publishing them on their website must ensure that it is done with the permission of the authorized person. That is completely bullshit. And I'll tell you why. That's complete bullshit because they're not taking his artwork that they found somewhere and then publishing it. They have purchased it from a company that he has authorized to sell it. So that company has the right to sell it, and those customers have the right to post pictures of their freaking room that happens to have the freaking work in it. And this ruling here that they're saying anyone who makes use of other person's photographs by publishing them on a website must ensure that that is done with the permission of the authorized person. That right there, that ruling is about when you take somebody's work and you put it on your website and use their image. That's completely different in this case. And therefore, that's why this is completely wrong. It's just so messed up. I mean, listen, that court system, Cologne Regional Court, in freaking Germany, they need to wake their shit up, man. That's messed up. Oh my gosh. But anyways, that was that case. That's horrible. Poor old lady. So I guess the warning is, if you guys are if you guys have a bed and breakfast or something that you're putting out there, make sure that whatever pictures you're putting up don't have somebody's artwork on them, because you're going to get sued. That's so freaking stupid. I think, listen, if they had taken a picture if they had taken a picture deliberately of the art, showcasing his art, the wallpaper, deliberately, like look at this wallpaper, and they would put it up, that's different. They're taking a picture of the room where they are not isolating his work as the feature of the actual image. Yeah. Cologne, Germany is beautiful, but apparently they're 50 years behind the times. Probably. Yeah, he's exploiting some vague loophole. This is how he's making his money. I would love to. I need to look this guy up. Oh man, I already closed it. I want to see what a piece of crap he looks like. Oh. Hey, he might sue me for looking at his work on stream. So I'm gonna look at it over here. Oh, he looks like a douche. If that's him, I don't know. That may not be him. Hold on. Um, hold on a second. I don't want to. I want to see who he is. All right, I'm just gonna read this. He has been working as a freelance photographer since he was 21 years old. After training as an advertising photographer in Germany, he opened his own studio and has been taking photos for advertising agencies and companies ever since back then. He has also been an entrepreneur and investor for 20 years. He founded and led companies in the fields of e-commerce, real estate, and renewable energies. You see all of that? It sounds like a hustler. That's man. Mm-hmm. Now here's his copyright note. I'm gonna read his. No, it doesn't. It just says copyright. It doesn't even say anything else. Hold on, let me see. Oh, here it is. All photo. This is all photos on this website were created by his name, and he owns the copyright for all photos on this website. So that's what it is. So I'm not gonna show his stuff, but I will give you the link. How about that? There's not a picture of him on there, by the way. That's his link. It keeps having the stupid agree thing at the bottom, and I'm like, I'm not clicking on that. By the way, his website sucks, man. I can't even view it properly. It's spinning like crazy. Yeah, it's probably got some kind of virus on it or something. He's logging everybody that goes to his website so he can then sue them to see if they showed his shit. This has got to be him. Either way, I don't know who this guy is, but it's a very shitty thing to do. Anyhow, all right, moving on. I bet he wears a certain pair of gold sneakers. And I don't know. He's freaking Canadian, so I don't know. I ain't clicking that link. I don't need bad juju. Yeah, exactly. Who knows? I'm pretty protected, so I think I'm okay right now. Yeah, I didn't click the consent. I just X'd out of it. Anyways, another douche in the world. It just kind of sucks. Okay, I've got two videos, and here's a quick conversation. I just want an agree or disagree. I got you guys. There's two guys in the room, and I just want an agree or disagree on this one. It's kind of it's out there. So let me see. I just want to hear what your take is and what you guys think, and I'll tell you what I think. So this, and regardless of who is that said it, this is just happens to come across, and of course, the minute I say the person's name, they'll be like, "Oh, this is political," or "That lady is so Republican," or whatever. It's not about the person. It's about the comment she made and how do we feel if it's true or not. Okay, so let's focus on that, not focus on the person. Here we go. So according to this is Candace Owens' porn statement takes the internet by storm, and what she basically said was, and by the way, if you don't know, she's a conservative commentator. She goes around a lot of places. I think you know who she is. All right, here we go. So it says here, her tweet was ban pornography. It's a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. And that's what she said. And that's what it is right here. If you see, I don't know if I can click on it and it takes me to her probably. Yeah, there it is there. So it's like ban for pornography. It's a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. And so of course there's other people that I've commented on here, and this has been going around for a bit. It's had 8.6 million views, and there's people that say things like, "Control yourself. The government is not the solution to life's problem." And then says, "Oh, for the love of God, banning. Ban pornography 100%. Somebody else says, "Why does a Jewish rabbi own Pornhub?" I didn't know that. I don't care. I'm afraid of scrolling through this too much. So, and some of these are pretty bad, so I'm not going to read all of them, and I'm being very careful as I scroll through. Porn is free because you pay with your soul. Here's another one. Ban an industry that's consenting adults engage in and has created a lucrative living for many people. Wow. Thought you were for a small government. Educating folks on why they shouldn't consume porn is the answer. Banning porn is not the answer. Okay. So that was the statement there. And some people are like, "I thought you stood for freedom, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is." Here's somebody else that says, "If women do not want to have sex with young men, what are the men supposed to do? Be abstinent until the 30-year-old woman decides they're ready to have sex?" That's kind of weird. I don't know why she would say that. And that was a woman saying that, by the way. So, okay, not to keep this on my screen too much, because I don't want to I don't want to deal with this too much, but I'm curious to see what you guys say, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think. Not that I have a lot of experience in this field, but I've got some. Troy says, "I love Candace." Brink says, "I disagree with her statement." Okay, why do you disagree with her statement? And Troy, do you have I know you love Candace, but do you have a stance on this? So I'm just curious. I think that, okay, so I do think you can't ban it. I mean, listen, where does it end? Here's the way I see it. I'm not saying don't ban it because I love it and because it should be allowed. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is setting up a bad system. Because this is the whole thing about canceling culture. If you're going to allow, okay, if somebody says ban pornography, if you're going to ban pornography, where does it end? They're going to continue to ban other things. And it's like, how do they define pornography? And then it's like anything that makes somebody uncomfortable or is something that, resembling anything close to that is going to then also be banned. And so then where does it end? And that, I think, is the slippery slope with this. I do agree. The second part of their statement, and I think that's the more important one. The second part of her statement is the one that I like to focus on. It says, it is a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. Now, I do believe, and I know people are going to disagree, but I don't care. I do believe that pornography is an addiction, and therefore it does weaken a great deal of people that watch it. It does affect you, especially if you have an addictive issue with it. I think that it should be something. Here's the thing. I think pornography is something that should not be so shunned that people are afraid of talking about it, because they will feel like they're going to be ridiculed or they're going to be ostracized or whatever. And I think that's one of the issues, is that it's done in secret. It's done in hiding. A lot of people don't admit that they do it. So it's this like dirty little secret that they're keeping. I think if more people talked about it openly and had a discussion, it wouldn't be as harmful, because of the fact that maybe people need to be educated on it. Maybe people need help. Maybe someone that does have an addiction to it, just like if they had an addiction to drugs, needs help in overcoming that. And so therefore, it should be something that should not be looked at. Oh my God, you look at porn. Oh, you're horrible. You're dirty. Get away from me. No, you should. I mean, that's kind of like if somebody says I have an addiction to drugs, are you going to immediately treat them like that as well? Oh, you're horrible. Get away from me. No, you wouldn't do that. You would want to help them. Okay, so that's the thing. If we treat it like any other addiction issue, then it's fine. Now, there's people that are also like, I'm not addicted to porn. I just like watching it. It's like saying, I'm not addicted to drugs. I just like the way they make me feel. It's the same thing. Now, if you're consuming it every day, multiple times a day, you have an issue. And by the way, it comes in many forms. So that's kind of where I stand. So I'm not for the whole banning thing, but I definitely do feel that it is a detriment to a lot of people. It is so mainstream. It is so easily available. And I think that, I know that people say we should be able to control ourselves and we should be able to govern ourselves and things like that. But you know what? Some people can't. Some people need help. That's kind of where I stand. And I'm not saying that we need to get rid of it, because it is what it is. And and then the other thing is like, oh, it gives people livelihood. Some people are making a living off it. They can make a living doing something else. So I'm not going to go with that argument. But I think that what I am going to say is that just because it's out there doesn't mean you need to watch it. Just because it's out there doesn't mean you need to like be consuming it all the time. And that's the same thing with when it goes to Twitch and the pool hot tub. Yeah, it's there. Doesn't mean you have to go watch it, the pool hot tub streams. But if you're into that, then great. If you feel like you have to watch that every day and you have to keep that on, while you're at work or when you're alone or whatever, then you have an issue. And it's bigger than just whatever it is that you're watching. And that's something you need to look at. And I think that's where it weakens. And I'll give you a great example in a moment of how it does weaken. I'll give you a personal example. I'm just going to read some of your comments here. Porn is bad all around. Yeah, I mean, it is bad. I'm not going to say it's just like drugs are bad. Alcohol is bad. There's a lot of things that are bad, but we don't ban them. Because arbitrary banning of something without solid proof is censorship of the worst kind. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it's a slippery slope to go down. Banning it is not the answer. It's what made the world how it is now. Divorce. I wouldn't say that porn leads to divorce in all cases. But I'll give you an example of how that does affect a relationship, and it could damage it. But the damage has been done, and it takes decades to get back to how it was. I can see what you're saying, and I'm going to give you an example in a moment. Let me just finish reading this. Pornography isn't an addiction. It can lead to an addiction 100%. It is right. Like drugs can lead to an addiction as well. Not because just because you do weed once or you take a drug once doesn't mean you're immediately going to be addicted. But if you have an addictive personality, or you're leaning on it as that made me feel good, it made me forget my problems, and makes things go away, then that's when it becomes an addiction, something you lean on. Like for example, the people I know this girl that it's like every time she had a tough day with the kids or a tough day at work or whatever, and she would come home and she'd be like, "Oh, mama needs a drink." You know what I mean? That's not a really good statement. I had a tough day, I need a drink. It's like, no, you had a tough day. Okay, fine. Find something healthy to relax. You don't have to turn to a drink every time. I know a woman that drinks every freaking day at home. It's not like she's going out to drink. And then she goes out to drink as well. But I'm just saying, it's like, it's the whole idea of I had a tough day, I need a drink. It's such a stupid statement to make. How about I had a tough day, I need to really unwind. I need to find a way of decompressing, working through this day, and doing just me time now. It doesn't have anything to do with a drink or a drug or I need to watch porn. I had a tough day, I gotta watch some porn. You know what I mean? It's kind of like stupid when you think that way. Pretty much anything overdone can lead to an addiction. True. Some things are more harmful than others, though. I can stop anytime, Nord. Can you? The accessibility is too easy. That's the thing. So a long time ago, I remember, and I don't know if it even happened, but I remember that the .xxx was going to be a thing. You know how we have .com, .net, .this, .that, and I believe that they were trying to make a .x or a .xxx for anything adults related. And what I was thinking was, if they ever did that, that would be an easy way of blocking all of that. So if somebody really didn't want to see that or didn't want it to be a part of their life, they can easily block that through their ISP or through some kind of firewall or something where that would not be. Now, trying to block pornography with the safety rules and stuff like that is so freaking hard, because it's still going to get through. But if adult entertainment was to be put behind a .x, and that was a regulation that needed to be done, and if you tried to promote it on a .com or a .net, you were going to be taken down. OnlyFans too, that would be over there. Stuff like that. That would be some way of managing it. Accessibility restrictions should be made more restrict for sure, but outright ban for something just doesn't. I don't like it. No thanks. No, I agree with you. I don't think banning is the answer. That's like cancel culture. Porn is evil. If you're addicted to shopping, should you just ban Amazon? If you're addicted to shopping, you should not have a credit card, and you should not have easy access to freaking shopping online or QVC. Listen, if you're addicted to something, you need to keep away from it. That's how it is. If you're addicted to drinking, you shouldn't be hanging out at a bar. You shouldn't be going to a liquor store. You shouldn't be going to all you can drink open bar parties. You maybe should not be going out with your buddies for drinking if you're addicted and you want to stop. That's the only way. So in my early 20s, I would say late teens, early 20s probably, I had a friend, I'm not going to call him a friend, that used to constantly send me, like everything they send me through phone text or through email was basically like porn. That's all they talked about. That's all they did. That's all they sent. And it was always about that. It was like, oh, check this one out. Oh, check this one out. And that was like, never talked about anything else. This is all, anytime we saw each other, that's what it was. That's what he would talk about. And, and you start seeing these images. And I remember at that time when I was young, I had gone to some strip clubs with that person, that friend. And it's so easy to fall into, when you watch porn, when you go to a strip club, when you're, when you see someone that's their whole life is that, it's so easy to get caught up in that. And your mindset changes to every time you see a woman, you think back to, and this is just, I'm not saying this happens for everyone. I'm just saying this is one of the things that happen. This is just my take. Whenever you are so like influenced by like watching porn and everything you see, and the strip clubs where the girls just go there and take their clothes off and they're all friendly to you and they all want your attention, because in reality they want your money. We all know this. But all of that, and you think when you see a woman on the street or you meet a woman outside of the club, you think to yourself, well, what makes her so special that she doesn't take her clothes off like this one? It warps the way you see women. And then the other thing also, it warps your mindset in as far as your own personal relationship with your spouse or girlfriend or whatever, because what you're seeing online is not reality. You know, the whole dynamic, the way it's set up, the scene, the emotions, everything, the performance and whatnot, it doesn't match or live up in your bedroom, let's say. Maybe for some people it does, but I'm just saying in most cases. And so therefore, when it doesn't, you're disappointed. It reminds me of that story about when people went to see the Avatar early on, like the movie from James Cameron. Is that his name? Anyways, when Avatar came out and people went to see the movie and it was so beautiful and it was so amazing, there was supposedly a story that people left that movie feeling depressed when they got to their real life, when they realized that their world was nothing like whatever the hell the world there is called. And they were so depressed that their life couldn't be like the life in Avatar. And so they were, and this is a story, I'm not making this up. There were people going to their therapist and saying they were depressed at how awful looking their regular life was compared to what it could be in Avatar. It was ridiculous. So it's the same thing. So I think pornography unchecked can lead to issues in your life where things in your real life do not meet the expectations that you set up to yourself when you're watching porn. I think that's a valid statement. So I don't think that banning it is the issue. I think that educating yourself on the effects that it has on an individual. And by the way, like I said, this is not across the board to everyone. Not everyone is affected this way, but there are cases where people are affected, just like people that have an addictive personality and they should not be involved in certain things because they get obsessed. So I'm just saying, being educated on something and understanding how it affects you individually or other people around you is important to know. And I think that's the part that we need to change. If they locked it behind having to create an account and prove your age, viewership would go way down. Make that regulation just like if you want to buy, say, alcohol online. That is 100% true. I like that idea. If they did, the thing is that they have to like tease you with it. So there's all this free stuff out there. And it's like, but you want to see the good stuff. Now that we've shown you a little bit, if you pay, you can go see the rest of it over here. I mean, that's how they get you, right? They have to like show off some of it for free so they can bring you in. But I think that's where it's wrong. I don't think you need to advertise it that way. I think that it should be behind a paywall. I think that you're right, that it should be a membership. I think that it should be something that you have to enter a credit card into. I mean, I don't know if we talked about this, but recently there was the Netflix documentary about Ashley Madison. And that was a dating website. I think it's still around actually, but it was a dating website for married people to cheat. It was meant specifically for married people that wanted to cheat and have an affair, and Ashley Madison was the way to do it. Now, in order to sign up for that, they had to put a credit card. They had to put their information, their name, whatever. Even if they had a screen name, they still had to put their information on there. Now, I don't know about you, but you got to think that anybody with a little bit of a brain that is married is not going to be signing up with their name and with their credit card information and their address and all this shit to some kind of freaking dating site to cheat. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And that that should deter the smart people from being like, you know what, that's not a road I want to go down. It's just ridiculous. It makes no sense. It's the same thing with if the porn sites all had like no preview, no nothing. If you want to see anything, trust me, you want to be in here, and you got to give us your information, and you can come in. Even if it's like, give us your information, and you can have a trial. If you don't like it within 3 days, you can cancel. Let's say it's that, and you can't see anything unless you sign up. That would be a great way to deter a lot of people from doing it, because I guarantee you, not a lot of people that are in a relationship would want to have their significant other be like, what's this charge here? You know, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna be like, what? Wait, what's this charge? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that got there. I lost my credit card. Yeah. I have no desire to sign up for anything like that. I'll be 100% honest. I don't have a desire for any of that. And people will be, of course not, because it's free out there. No, it's my room is open. My computers are here. My computers are open. My kids log into my computer. My kids know my login. So it's like they can look at my stuff. They can look at my history and everything. So it's not like, you know, yeah, I'm a tech guy. I know how to get around things, but that's not the point here. The point being is that I guarantee you there is no way in hell that I would ever sign up for anything seedy like that and attach my name to it, because I love my wife and I love my family and I love being married. I'm not going to freaking do anything to cause problems like that. That's ridiculous. That's like just waiting to get in trouble. That is stupid. So anyhow, I guess like Brink says, if you put it behind a paywall and made people actually sign up for it and have to put their information in the credit card, there would be less people signing up. And that's the reason why they don't do that, because they would lose a lot of money. But there's still people out there that pay for it. It's crazy. Anyways, this went a lot longer than intended. I really didn't want to have that long conversation, but I don't agree with having to ban it, but I do agree that somehow or another we need to be aware that it does affect people differently, and there's some people that do struggle with it. And like anything, like I always say, you know, at the end of the stream, I always say, make sure you do something that makes you happy. It doesn't hurt anybody else or yourself. And I always say that, and I'm thinking to myself, don't do something that is both physically or emotionally or morally or, you know, affecting you as a person, because that's going to hurt you. You might think it's making you happy, but it could be hurting you too. And that's kind of just what it is. And I guarantee you that in one way or another, it could be hurting somebody else too. Your actions. So whatever, it is what it is. Do what you want. You're grown-ups. Let me close out of this. I've got two things left. Yeah, I agree with that. Banning based on a political or personal view is a dangerous thing. Yeah, that's not a good road to go down. Let's watch this short one first. This is an Asmongold react. I actually wanted to see this. He labeled it as the most controversial clip on the internet right now. It has to do with Terrence Howard. He was on Joe Rogan, and I saw this before Asmon put this up, and he basically says some stuff. And the question about, he makes himself sound like he's like really smart. And so the question that has been going around for a while is this guy, Terrence Howard, a genius, or is he just maybe a little crazy? And so that's kind of what's been going around. And so I want to play this. I'm curious to see Asmon's reaction to this. Give me a moment before we start. I gotta go to the restroom. Been drinking too much liquid. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's watch this. You have to go. All right, man. Troy, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate all your input. Hope you're doing well. Your wife showed you this Terrence Howard clip. Yeah, I saw this. I saw this like earlier in the week, and I was like, "What the hell?" So we got to see. Oh, okay. He always thinks someone's at the door. By the way, I liked Troy's input on that, on the pornography and stuff. He's right. I mean, listen, I think I'm with you. It is definitely evil. It definitely has evil to it, and definitely a lot of bad stuff has come from it. But I'm not going to say that just because anybody, because this is where the judging comes in, and I don't want to judge anybody. Just because you watch porn doesn't make you like you're going to be a sex offender. Just because you watch porn does not going to make you a deviant. If you watch it for whatever reason, everyone has their own reason why they watch it. If that you do that, that's your call, man. Just understand, if it is changing you or affecting you in any way, that's when you need to find help. That's when you need to get away from it. But it's just like watching a scary movie or watching it's when it comes to like regular Netflix entertainment. If you're watching a movie that is about a crime or something, I mean, you're not like rooting for the criminal. You're just watching a movie. If you're playing a video game like GTA 5, and this is the other thing, oh, immediately you're going to be a criminal. No, it's that's not how it is. And so that's where I want people to understand that just because you partake in something does not make you that. It's when it becomes an obsession or a specific priority over your life or something that's ruling your life. That's when it's an issue. If it's changing you, changing the person that you are. So I just want to say that before we move on. All right, let's watch this Terrence Howard thing. This is Asmongold reacting to it. And again, we got to find out, is he crazy or is he genius? And he's on Joe Rogan on this one. All right, let's switch over. We'll do it on main. I think main's where to go.
Yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, speaking of conspiracy bros, I was gonna watch this.
When you say rebuild the periodic table, what do you mean specifically?
Well, the way the periodic table is laid out, the periodic table they have now,
Let's see.
it looks like a box, but they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E. Same key of E, 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz. You go to silicon, it will double up and would be 162 hertz. You'll go to cobalt and it'll be 324 hertz.
It sounds like gibberish to me. When I first heard this, I'm going to go back a bit. When I first heard this and he starts like, you know, the tone, and then he starts explaining the stuff, it's just like, what?
Same tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E. Same key of E, 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz. You go to silicon, it will double up and would be 162 hertz. You'll go to cobalt and it'll be 324 hertz.
Now I have heard of this as far as this like a sound to it or something. I'm not sure how that's measured or stuff, but I have heard of something like this. I don't know how accurate it is. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know anything about this stuff.
It's take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, you know, their color. Like you can turn color back into sound based upon, it's the same wavelength, it's just twice as long or much longer. So all you have to do is keep dividing light by 2. You keep dividing light by 2 and you'll ultimately get back to the audible sound of it.
Doesn't it just sound like what? What are you talking about? That was my first reaction when I heard this.
Because there was a relationship between light and color, sound and tone, matter and shape.
So you had figured this out at a young age?
I had already seen this. This was all inside of that palace. I had access to it, and I knew the relationship.
So you saw this in dreams?
Okay, come on, man. I'm so I'm waiting for Asmund to say something, but I saw this in a dream. What the hell? What is computer? Well, I've walked into, and is there a way out? Yeah, there's a way out. What's up, Hyde? You always come in at the wrong times.
Saw it as a circle. Everything was a full circle laid out, and each area was just expanding, like wrapping a rag around your hand. The first wrap, it's so tight. This is how I saw it more so, but as a vortex. You'll see
I'm waiting to see what he's going to say.
Relationship between hydrogen, you understand what I'm saying?
I love how he has, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, no. Joe Rogan's probably like, no, you've lost me.
Reach into the next octave, the carbon octave, and they call that a bisexual tone. If you
It's a bisexual tone.
you want to break water into its component parts of hydrogen and oxygen, all you have to do is introduce beryllium or the sound of beryllium, and oxygen will violently break away from any other thing, even hydrogen, to bond with that beryllium.
So there are a lot of scientists that saw this, and apparently everything that he said was wrong. Yeah, apparently none of this is really true. Now, everybody...
I don't think I had to go to a scientist to know if any of this was true, to be honest. It's all sounded crazy. This is like talking to your buddy after a night of drinking. He's like, yeah, man, I got it all figured out.
Is acting like this is some kind of like crazy thing, and everybody's like, wow, this is nuts how crazy and dumb this guy is, right? He's not. I've met multiple homeless people that live at Taco Cabana that think this same thing. Yeah, if you go under a bridge, there's like 3 of him. This is proof of the world is science and mathematics that 1 × 1 = 2. Oh, so this isn't his first rodeo. Yeah, he's done this before. That's
Next time, baby.
wow.
This is proof that 1 × 1 = 2. Damn, where do I go with that? Yeah. So there's that. I mean, we could do a lot of we could search a lot of that stuff, but in truth,
I saw it as
I mean, seriously, I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. It's just crazy. Now, this guy supposedly had, you know who this is? Terrence Howard. He was originally the first roadie in Iron Man, and that didn't work out. I'm curious. What do you guys think about this? Because there's something I wanted to say about him in general, but I'm just curious. I don't know how, but if you find the exit, take me with you. Thanks, Brink. Way to support your buddy. I would like to meet his dealer because man got some damn good. Nice. I was just going to say the psychedelics, huh? Yeah, it's the dem mushrooms. Hobo Charlie, longtime homeless dude I dealt with, is self-medicated and it showed. DMT is a hell of a thing. He sounded like him, but was triangles and numbers, but with triangles and numbers. Yeah, it's really weird. So one of the things with this guy that I know of is he has had a lot of patents out there. Terrence Howard patent. Okay. Here's another. This one was, oh, come on, man. I don't want to register for anything. I hate this stupid stuff. Always trying to make me register for stuff. And I don't care about Drake. All right, here we go. So here's the other thing. Like, I saw this, and he says he owns a virtual reality patent, or he owned. I don't know if he still does. So Academy Award nominee claims that he owns a trailblazing virtual reality patent. Making his experience, Howard claims ownership of the patent in what can only be described as an interesting 3-hour conversation. Holy crap. The entire AR VR world was built off of my first patent that was abandoned because I paid $260,000 for the worldwide patent. But then my lawyers kept sending me these maintenance fees and annuities, and I'm like, these folks are just trying to shake me down. I'm not going to pay this. And so he lost that patent. And so the idea of the patent was basically, I'm still making money. This patent has earned over $7 trillion and you didn't get a piece, and I haven't gotten a penny of it. What? He also shared that he could kill gravity, and that he shared that he could debunk the I can never say that. You know what I'm talking about? There it is. But yeah, no. We're about to kill gravity, he says. We're about to kill their god, gravity, and they don't want that. God. I mean, it gets crazier and crazier the more you read this, but yeah, he's basically said everything done for VR and AR, it's working off of a patent that he created a long time ago. But obviously, hey, imagine that he doesn't have that patent anymore. So is this guy a kook or what the hell, man? I don't know. He's nuts. Straight and simple. Schizoaffective, borderline schizophrenic. He's nuts. Yeah, it's just bad. It's sad, man. I mean, I think that there's a lot of actors that are a little bit, nutty. That's just their personality. I mean, it takes that kind of personality to actually play different roles. I get it. But this is a whole nother level, man. This is a whole nother level. So anyhow, I'm surprised Asmund really didn't really touch on this too much. But really, what is there to say? If you think about it, what is there to say? It just sounded crazy. It sounded like gibberish. No, they all had the same tone, man. What? Yeah, copper, beryllium. They all have the same tone. The hertz. I'm gonna come out with some stuff like that. You gotta feel bad for him. That's the only thing. See, that's where I hate saying that somebody is just nuts and like making fun of them, because of the fact that deep down there's a mental issue there somewhere. You know what I mean? There's something that's broken. There's someone there that needs help, and you just can't not think of that. You know what's funny is that when you meet people that rub you the wrong way, that you get angry with, that do things that piss you off or whatever, sometimes you have to look past the offense and look at the offender and just kind of really look at them and think about what they're going through, kind of boil it down to the human being factor. What the hell, what is it that's going on? And a lot of times it's something that somebody wronged them, or they're going through something, or they're upset about something, and they're taking it out on you. And it's almost like, can you imagine what the world would be like if somebody starts like offending you, like they're really like angry at you or whatever, and instead of you reacting, you say, hey man, what's the matter? What's wrong? What happened? I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to work and they're going to stop yelling at you, but they would definitely, like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? They'll still be mad at you. But if you keep on like, talk to me. Something happened. Something make you upset. I mean, I know it wasn't me. We just started talking. So it's like, I think that maybe that might change that situation. And I mean, it's said in the Bible, instead of like throwing another log on the fire, it's like, just, you want to, whenever there's an issue or a problem, you don't want to just keep feeding that fire. You want to try to like work around it. So I'm trying to do that more and more. It's like whenever somebody is confrontational with me or is giving me an attitude, even with my kids, sometimes I'm like, hey, what's going on? You're talking a lot. There's a lot of internal stuff going on there. What are the external factors that are causing this internal conflict? And so then we trying to get to that point. What is it that happened that's making you feel this way or think this way? And so then we can get down to that. Same issue, interviewers taking advantage of a broken person for clicks. You have to teach yourself not to react. Had to learn, but sometimes it's got to work to save yourself. You just got to work. Yep. Oh, by the way, that comment about taking advantage of a person's mental, well, I think we were talking about that when it comes to that lady, the Fiona Harvey lady. I agree that they're exploiting her for clicks because of the fact that over, you know, millions and millions of people have watched that interview with Piers Morgan. I do agree that, you know, he's a piece of crap for doing, for like even exploiting that even further. He's had 4 different shows about it so far. But at the same time, if they didn't have her on, she wouldn't be able to give her side of it. And if she is being wronged, which, by the way, we're supposed to find out if there's a lawsuit going through or not, if Netflix wronged her or whatever, if she is being wronged, she should be given a voice regardless of her mental state. So I think that the exploitation is bad, but I think her putting herself out there, she should be given that opportunity. So that's just how I feel about that. But yeah, I do believe that people exploiting this for clicks is bad. Yeah, that's not good. All right, let's move on. So closing that. Let's see, what do we got? It's 1:23. All right, we got one more thing. Let me I wanted to watch this. This came across. Now, if you don't know, if you guys are actually selling on Etsy and whatever, wondering why your sales are low right now, Etsy is really having a hard time right now. There's a lot of people that are not selling right now, and there's a lot of it's not as great as it has been before. And it also has to do with the fact that summer's coming up. And so that's one. Number one, I think summer's coming up, and usually summer is the slow time. One of the things that actually sold for me recently is something I put up last summer, and it's still available now. And they're called word search puzzles. And so I made like a pack of word searches for kids to do when they're home, because you know what? Summertime, they need something to do. Sometimes parents need to keep their kids busy. Hey, give them a couple of word search puzzles, and they'll have a good time. And some kids are into that. And so actually another one of them sold this past week for me. And so you got to look at what you can sell for summer, but summer tends to die out for a lot of Etsy people. And this is a time to like work on your shop, kind of get your products ready for the holidays, things like that, and not be so focused on, oh my God, May and June are dead. But at the same time, there have been some bad numbers coming out from Etsy, and Etsy is starting to turn. So let's figure out what is happening with it. And I saw this CNBC video that's 12 minutes long, and I thought we'd watch it. So let's take a look at this. And I'm probably going to, should I run this at half a speed? Maybe. We'll see. Back on the other comment, the voice needs to be heard in court where her interests are being represented. She doesn't have that in those shows. I'm not going to argue with that. Back to school would be biggest push come to late July. Yes, back to school things would be great. That's the time to start doing that. But right now it's kind of dead. All right, so let's see what they say. I'm going to go ahead and watch this. And we might play Scum after this. We want to try out Skinny Pete's server. Let's go to main.
Etsy, the global e-commerce platform known for unique and handmade.
I don't know that name. I know the face. Morgan Spurlock was an American documentary filmmaker and television producer. This guy here. What did he die of? Oh, I know this guy. This is the guy I've seen, the Supersize Me. I watched that. I've seen a couple of his documentaries, actually. What did he die of? Dies at 50. Holy shit, he's my age, man. Died of cancer at 53. Holy crap, that is sad. Dies at 53. Dude, this guy's my age. Hold on, we gotta see this. Now I gotta read this. Thanks, Hyde. Documentary filmmaker. Oscar nominee, whose most famous work for America's food industry and notably ate only at McDonald's for a month to illustrate the dangers of fast food diet, has died. He was 53. You know, there's people going to be like, that's what you get for eating McDonald's for a month. That's horrible. Spurlock died Thursday network from complications of cancer, according to the statement. It was a sad day as we said goodbye to my brother Morgan, who worked with him on several projects. Said in a statement, Morgan gave so much through his art, ideas, and generosity. The world has lost a true creative genius and a special man. I am so proud to have worked together with him. Spurlock made a splash in 2004 with the groundbreaking Super Size Me. I did watch that. The film chronicled the detrimental physical and psychological effects of him eating only McDonald's food for 30 days. He gained about 25 pounds, saw a spike in his cholesterol, and lost his sex drive. That is all true, by the way. That would happen. Everything bigger in America, he said in the film. We've got the biggest cars, the biggest houses, the biggest companies, the biggest food, and finally the biggest people. The film grossed over $22 million on a $65,000 budget. Wow. I'm just trying to read through. They say anything else? What kind of cancer did he have? I'm trying to see if there's anything in here. Hold on a second. Because this is a lot of stuff that he's done. Yeah, they don't say what kind of cancer he had. He's survived by 2 sons, his mother, father, brothers, and former spouse. Former spouses. Oh, he's been married twice. Mothers of his children. It doesn't say what he passed, like what kind of cancer it was. That's terrible. Cancer complications. Man, that is very sad. 53. I tell you, man, the more I hear about these people just freaking dying around this age now, it's freaking scary, man. Oof. I don't want to be a downer or anything, but I do think about this stuff now. I mean, I'm 53. Supposedly, I'm okay. Like, I don't have any major issues or anything like that, other than weight gain and stuff with my liver. But other than that, I should be okay. You know, I need to really work on the bringing down the weight. That's kind of a major thing. But I always think of every time I see these stories, man, I just like out of nowhere. Scary stuff. All right. Yeah, thanks for that, Hyde. Awesome. Awesome. Way to go. Way to make me feel good. Okay. All right, I'm going to watch this now. I'm going to try to get my mind off of morbid stuff right now. Not the way I want to do my Friday.
Etsy, the global e-commerce platform known for unique and handmade goods, reported its highest ever annual revenue of $2.7 billion in 2023. But that's not the full picture. Its gross merchandise sales, or the total value of goods sold on Etsy, declined in the same period, falling flat for the second year in a row. Its stock is more than 70% lower.
Ooh. Speaking of stocks, we haven't talked about Nvidia. We need to talk about that after
than its
this.
2021 high. And first quarter 2024 earnings results didn't look much better.
Etsy's consolidated results, while within our guidance range, were not where we wanted them to be.
After the big increase in both buyers and spending per buyer during COVID, it looks like they've hit a wall. And you basically have a company that has not grown in 2 years.
Some longtime sellers are partly blaming CEO Josh Silverman, saying his focus on profits has pushed the company away from its vision.
But Etsy hasn't grown in 2 years. What happened 2 years ago? Where were we 2 years ago? What is it? 2022. I mean, we need to take into consideration that a lot of Etsy really took off during, like, right before that time because of the whole COVID thing, you know, and being home and people buying things online and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of print on demand stores that opened up during that time. And so, of course, 2022 and forward, we started getting out of that already. And so the demand it changed. And so, of course, it's going to be different. it's not going to be as the growth is not going to be as huge, right? I mean, that's the case. That's what happens.
allowing counterfeits and mass-produced items to thrive, demoralizing artists and buyers.
Well, that is true. They did start, like, there was stuff that they were putting out that people bought, like in China or whatever, through another provider, and then they would just put it up as handmade, and it really wasn't handmade. And that, I think, was the biggest problem, where a lot of people were getting turned off because they were seeing things on there that were not handmade, but they were marked as handmade, and they were really just buying something from somewhere and reselling it. I watched this. Their biggest issue is not cracking down on the bulk Temu product sales and stuff that is listed as handcrafted. That is not. Oh wait, way to ruin the ending for us, Hyde. Holy crap! You just, all right. So that's what their issue is. Damn it! I guess I don't even need to watch this anymore. Etsy cares more about profits than they care about the sellers that make the platforms possible.
Competing with people who are
True.
generating art via artificial intelligence now, I can't compete. It's just junk, a lot of it.
You're just going to be a slightly more expensive Amazon? That seems like a terrible business. Amazon, that seems like
artificial intelligence now, I can't compete. It's just junk.
Listen, this here, I mean, this is not your competition. If you're an artist that's, I mean, you're not selling this stuff. And by the way, this stuff doesn't really sell that much on here. All right, it doesn't. It just fills up the page with a bunch of other crap, but no, it doesn't. And this isn't competing with your regular art. It's not. People know the difference. Smart people know the difference. But maybe they don't. I didn't ruin nothing. Yeah, you did. You ruined it. I don't even feel like watching anymore. You just told me the end. I watched this. Their biggest issue is not cracking down on the bulk product sales from Temu. You ruined it. That's the happy ending. Oh, man. They introduced a BS star seller badge requirement and punished sellers that don't have a message response rate of 95% and a 4.9 star review average, yet they do nothing to stop copyright infringement. Correct. I do see that. It's terrible. All right, let's see.
A lot of it.
you're just going to be a slightly more expensive Amazon? That seems like a terrible business plan.
That's not true.
With discretionary spending down, a first quarter 2024 miss in both merchandise sales and profits, and an acknowledgement of poor execution by its CEO, Etsy's future is uncertain.
It's a public company. Its job is to return value to shareholders. At the end of the day, they need to be able to sell things that people want.
How did Etsy lose this way? You know what? It's interesting. I just started Etsy last year, and yeah, I don't know, man. I honestly think I have three shops. I have a design shop that's print on demand. I have a print shop that's just printed printable downloaded art, wall art that you can download and print yourself, and that's AI or digital art generated. And then I have a digital shop that's only for clip art or functional digital downloads that you can use, whether they're for classrooms, whether they're for you, things along that lines. And I'm actually working on more stuff like that, you know, like I said, word search puzzles. So that's more. And out of the three shops, the one that has sold the most has been the print on demand, only because of Christmas. But I honestly think that for me, if moving forward with these shops, I want my focus to be on the digital one, because I feel that the digital ones are more handcrafted items, even though I'm making them on the computer. And when it comes to like planners or word searches or things along that lines, I'm actually creating those by hand, you know, myself, not just not just printing out digital like AI art. So that's different. And I feel that doing games or doing stuff that has what's the word I'm looking for? It has like components that are created through AI, but the actual product as a whole is not. That's, I think, where for me I'd rather focus. And that's the truth. But as a whole, I've been really disappointed with Etsy as a print on demand shop because of the fact that there's so many people doing so much copyright infringement crap, and I'm like, I can't compete with that. Who's not gonna buy? If I put t-shirts out, I'm gonna say, who's gonna buy my t-shirt that has a cool pirate design versus somebody that buys a Disney Pirates of the Caribbean shirt? They know that one. They're gonna get that one. But that doesn't mean that the person should be selling it because they probably don't have the rights to it. I see nails for sale on there for super cheap, like mega underpriced for design and products use to go on. I used to go on Temu and I can find the same nails pre-made for sale in bulk. Yeah, well, they buy them there. You're right. And then they push them out on Temu. You're absolutely right. That's what they do. So I could buy them, put them on backing card and say I made them. Exactly. And that's the problem. 6 years ago when that's just not good. 6 years ago when I started, it was great. Now I have to compete with bot shops that steal my work and profit off of them. That's bad. Yeah. For me, it's like I just want to build a little audience of people that buy from me, and that's it. And that's why I honestly think the coffee shop thing is probably even another better way to go sometimes.
When Etsy first came on the market in 2005, it was a revolutionary idea. People who loved arts and crafts finally had a place to buy those things all the time and get connected with sellers and artisans and artists who maybe they would have never encountered before.
Etsy's founder and then CEO Rob Kalin built the platform to empower artisans. His vision was that Etsy could influence society in a way that people would think more consciously about the products they chose.
How do you get from just doing it as more of a hobby to organizing this to the point where you can actually make a living?
The virtual storefront also enabled a new kind of revolution.
These small businesses, these local artists suddenly had the ability to connect with buyers all over the world. And
I think it was a great concept, as far as the idea of people that were making handcrafted stuff and they needed a platform where to sell it on. And, with very little input, like it didn't really cost them a lot. They didn't have to do any advertising or anything like that. It was just put your stuff up there for sale and, keywords and whatnot. But I think it was a great outlet for people that have, and to this day, even though there's a lot of different competition for bogus stuff, but it is true. Anybody that made back then handcrafted items that were building things, this was a great place for them. It's a great idea.
And this was huge. I mean, it was an opportunity for them to grow their brand, grow their sales.
Nicola Lean-Legault and Chiara Lore are just two of the many artists who joined Etsy to sell more of their work. Legault has been there since 2009.
That's pretty cool. Wait, she's been there since 2009. She's only had 295 sales. Wow. That's sad, man. I'm willing to pay for a unique item. I paid $300 for a custom laptop bag for Kidlet, and she loves it. Totally worth it. And that Etsy setter was amazing. Really worked with me. Yeah, custom stuff is great, by the way. That's the other thing. It's just focusing on custom stuff is even better. Yeah. All right.
Everyone that I knew was opening up a little shop because it was one of the only places that was offering this platform and template.
It was very about the sellers. They were really driving the traffic and making the site what it was and creating a community.
Transaction fees were initially low. Etsy received B
that's
Corporation
nice.
status in 2012 and was one of the first companies with that certification to complete an IPO, which it did in 2015. At the time, it was valued at $1.8 billion. But the cracks in Etsy's foundation were already forming. Kalin stepped down as CEO in 2011 for a second time. As competition was stiffening, the next CEO made a big change in 2013, allowing artists to use outside manufacturers to produce their designs.
But see, okay. so what happened there? So what was the idea behind that? And you have to think that as a company, this made financial sense. This made business sense. How do you increase, your revenue? Well, we have the people that make stuff handmade. That's a very unique thing. Not everybody can make something by hand, but okay, so we have that, and those people are there. But now we need more people, and we need more revenue. So what do? Well, there are people that can't make things handmade, but they have a good idea, and they found a way to get it done by having a company produce them for them, hence print on demand, and therefore that's another place that Etsy can make money on. And so that's the thing. It's like, so it's no longer handmade, but the idea behind it is that you are still designing a product that you have a company making for you to put it out. I think that's very different than going to a place and buying stuff in bulk and then pushing it out for cheap, and then pushing it out for whatever, like just putting it out there as, yeah, I designed this. No, you didn't. You went to a place, saw something for sale, said, I'll take 1,000 of them, and then you put them for sale. That's not the same thing as designing something and having a factory created for you. Because I've known of people that there was one particular lady that used to design leather bags that weren't necessarily purses. They were for men and women, and they were beautiful bags. And she used to make the designs, and her husband used to travel to China for business, and she would give the designs to the husband. And when the husband went down to China, he would take them to the warehouse where they created them for them, and they would create the bags for them that were custom designed by this lady. And then when he returned, he would pick up the order, whatever, and then they would sell them. And that's not like buying something that's already made and then for cheap and then reselling it. It's completely different. So I think that is legit. But why did Etsy do this? I think they did it because they saw a possibility of increasing their revenue and getting more products on there. I would be interested to see the number of sellers before this change happened, because I bet I don't think it was a huge number. I think it was doing well, but I don't think it was a huge number like we have now, obviously.
Manufacturers to produce their designs. The term handmade was getting looser. And in this new public arena, the company was beholden to financially focused shareholders with a laser focus on growth.
They didn't regulate it. You're absolutely right. They should have regulated it. It should have been handmade and custom designed, produced by manufacturer. Whatever. Something along that lines. But it's not handmade, obviously. It's custom designed.
Stock lost more than 70% of its value its first full year as a public company.
Wow.
From the beginning,
wow.
Etsy wasn't profitable. When it went public, it was deeply in the red. This wasn't uncommon for e-commerce companies. It's still not necessarily uncommon for disruptive new startups and things like that. But over time, you needed to kind of change that.
Vendors too were unhappy, for different reasons.
There's been a massive culture clash at Etsy. It's something that really started after the company went public. It's happening internally with employees who had been there since the beginning, had kind of seen this company as, different.
Yet another CEO was appointed in 2017. Josh Silverman made both short.
But you know why that happens, right? I mean, they realized that once they went public, now they had to worry about their shareholders. They had to worry about keeping their shareholders, raising their, people wanted to make money. So now they need to figure that out, and things were going to change.
Short and long-term changes, laying off 22% of Etsy's workforce that year, and later pushing through transaction fee hikes and shipping fees. He also introduced a new tier-based subscription model for sellers to jumpstart their growth at a cost.
It was ultimately maybe too focused on keeping the sellers happy and wasn't doing enough to kind of drive buyer satisfaction. So that's what Josh tended to focus on, kind of maybe more balancing both sides of a marketplace, which is key.
By 2018, things were picking up. Sales were growing and the stock was at its highest. The turnaround was attributed to Silverman's leadership. And then, the pandemic.
For the month of April, Etsy sold $133 million worth of face masks. That's 12 million face masks.
The pandemic was a boon for Etsy. The number of
This is when the pandemic hit, this is when a bunch of stores popped out of nowhere, a bunch of shops. And indefinitely, there was a lot of people that were creating masks. One of the guys that really took off with this was, what's his name? What's the guy's name that made Hello Custom? Steven? Is it Steven? Shoot. I think it's Steven. Who created Hello Custom? Yeah, Steven. Is it Steven Chin? Is that his name? I think that is him. So this is just a side note real quick. No, that's not him. No, that's not his last name. They got his last name wrong. It's this guy here.
You have to.
His name is Steven Chin, but there's somebody else named Steven Chin that is it's not him. Oh shit. Sorry. Messing up. Anyways, this guy right here, I've heard his story before. He actually created something called Hello Custom that helps people that are sellers that are doing custom items or personalized items. They throw it through Hello Custom, which is an AI that actually does all the work for you at once the sale goes through, so that you don't have to hand personalize each one. So it's a system called Hello Custom. Anyhow, his story is basically this. During the pandemic, I don't know what he was doing before, but he decided to start selling some masks, and he did that, and it got so successful that he had to hire people to help him make them. And so then he had a whole like garage filled with people, and they kept doing it. And I think they were selling some other stuff, but the masks were the big thing. And it got so big during that time that he even had to end up like purchasing space in order for the people that were working with him or for him to create the mask and fulfill the demand or whatever, able to house them and whatnot. So that's what he was doing. But at one point, since when the masks, nobody was wearing them anymore, nobody needed them, so the sales dropped, he then was stuck with, I got all these people that I'm employed, and I gotta keep this going. They need to keep getting paid. I need to keep making a living. And so he ventured out into other products, print on demand products and so forth. And he just went that route, and he's made a great success for himself. But yeah, this was one of the examples of people that took off during the pandemic time. So I'm curious to see
active
what happens.
buyers increased by about 77%. Gross merchandise sales grew by more than 100% year over year in 2020, and more than 30% in 2021. Etsy's stock price reached its all-time high that same year. It also started charging some of its sellers for advertising, bringing in additional streams of revenue.
Pandemic-related success is just that. It's a fluke. It's a flash in the pan.
Mm-hmm. You can't take pandemic numbers even in stock or in business as a trend, or not a trend, as like, look at the forecast. Now we look how great we did, 70% growth during the pandemic. That means next year it's going to keep on going this way. You can't do that. You cannot like take, that was like a fluke. That was like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. And you either were successful at it at the time or you were not. But you can't take that as a forecast of what the pattern is going to be moving forward.
So far,
that's when you sold your
missed
stock.
earnings
Nice.
in 2023 and the first quarter of 2024 are leaving investors with little doubt that the pandemic may have been just that, a fluke.
And it was.
In December 2023, the company laid off 11% of its staff.
That's a fluke, just like the delivery companies like DoorDash, Uber Eats, all of those that really took off during that time. I think Delivery Dudes was then. Delivery Dudes got bought out by another company. I can't remember which one it was. But anyhow, that's all part of that. That people were ordering, food and delivering, and even the Instacart and the shipped for ordering like your supermarket grocery shopping and whatnot. And all of that came from then. If you look at their numbers today, they're not doing as well as they were back then because it's the same thing. That was a big deal that everyone needed at the time, and now it's dying out. And it's just expensive now. It's a convenience, but it's an expensive convenience, and we've talked about this before.
But as Etsy focuses on a comeback, it's also angering some of its biggest stakeholders, its sellers.
Etsy has been changing how buyers interact with the platform to prioritize buyers buying more faster and staying on Etsy, not prioritizing buyers having a good experience from individual sellers.
Chiara Laura leads the Indie Sellers Guild, a labor advocacy group for Etsy sellers formed after a week-long strike against the platform. Creators were frustrated by yet another transaction fee increase.
I agree
and
with
a controversial star seller program that prioritized sellers who meet requirements, like fast.
This is the part that Brink says sucked. How to become a star seller. On the 1st of every month, we've determined your eligibility for star seller by looking back at the last 3 months of your shop and performance. Reply to the first message within 24 hours. Responding quickly helps you create a great experience for your shoppers. Ship orders on time with tracking or labels from Etsy. So obviously, yeah, that's another big one. Okay, earn a rating average of 4.8 or higher. That's on reviews. Great reviews let customers know what to expect when they shop with you. And you know, if you get one bad review, that messes you up. That messes you up so bad. Make at least 5 sales worth $300. To become a star seller, your shop needs to meet the sales and order minimum in the 3-month review period. I don't believe I am a star seller anymore. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Because we're well past 3 months since January. Since December. December was my biggest month. November and December, yeah. And so I don't believe I'm a star seller anymore, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look, but I really don't care right now. That's crazy. All right. So yeah, so this was a big thing. And so yeah, if you weren't a star seller, you're not going to be seen as much.
Shipping.
There's a filter for this,
and
actually.
Quick response times.
And everything seems very corporatized. It's almost as though you're penalized for not using Etsy the way they're trying to make you use it.
Don't shut down my shop without letting me talk to a person. Don't issue a refund to a buyer without getting proof that it was damaged.
So what they're basically saying is this. It's like Etsy was just, they wanted to keep their buyers happy, because when people buy, they're basically making money off of the transaction. The only money they make from sellers without buyers is the price that it takes to put the item up. In other words, 20 cents. So it costs 20 cents to list an item. So they're only, from the sellers without a buyer, they're only making 20 cents. Unless the seller opts in for ads, and then they're getting paid for the ads. And it depends on the clicks, how many clicks they get, and so forth. So that's different. That's completely separate. But if they don't do any ads, the only money that they're making off of sellers without buyers is the 20 cents to list the item. So therefore, their focus is on the buyers. Because when the buyer purchases something from the seller, now there's a transaction fee. There's a processing fee. And then there's also the whatever the seller fee is. There's a different one. It comes out to be like 9.5% or something like that. So they make 9.5% of that sale. And if the sale came from an ad that was done, that they pushed themselves out there, an ad that you opt into, then they make even more percentage. So the whole idea is that Etsy makes money when a buyer buys something. So of course, if the buyer is unhappy with the product that they bought, they don't want to lose that possible future client that can buy from them again. So they're going to do everything to make the buyer happy, not the seller. So that's where it's like, yeah, they just shut the store down, or they issued a refund. They didn't even check with the seller to make sure to get proof. So that's really bad.
Do a refund to a buyer without getting proof that it was damaged. It's not drop your fees by half. It's not get rid of offsite ads. It's let me opt out if it doesn't work for me. Kind of all those things accumulating to where they find themselves.
I usually opt out. Right now I'm not, but I have for the most part opted out of Etsy ads as far as them promoting me outside of Etsy, because that takes a huge chunk off of the sale. And in the end, yeah, well, you wouldn't have gotten that sale without them. Yeah, but if you think about it, it's like, no, it's okay. I mean, I want to like get them organically and by word of mouth and stuff like that, but it's a huge chunk. It's like even more, you're paying more money, you're losing more money from that sale. I do run ads through Etsy when I have enough items in there that I think I want to showcase. But then I look and I'm like, all right, there's been a lot of, like, I'll be honest with you. Like I run very, very low ads. But recently I looked and I'm like, holy crap, in 30 days, I've spent $25 on ads, on clicks that were no sales. And when I look at the items that are being clicked on, I'm like, okay, that item has generated so much ad fees, but it hasn't made any sales. So what's the point? Why do people keep clicking on it, but they're not buying it? So I got to look into that. So I'm like, I'm not paying for ads anymore for this if it's not converting. So I'm like, I'm taking those off. I'd rather them see the other ads that, you know, are getting me out there, but, you know, maybe they'll get clicked on. Who knows? And so I'm kind of like testing the waters with it. But it's one of those things where like, if I try for a few weeks and I'm not getting a sale on that thing, it's been like a month, and I'm paying for ads, but I'm not making any money on it, I'm like, something's wrong with the listing, something wrong with the item itself. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I'm like burning money. So then, no, I'm not doing that.
Keeping less and less of the money from when they have a sale, but having to do more and more work, not even in their craft of the thing that they make, but just to make their Etsy shop work for them.
The company.
One Etsy seller that I use states that if you do a chargeback, she will not process further orders from you. And rightly so. Yeah, hell no. I do my items because they're downloadable. There's no refunds. So it's not like you can download it and then be like, I want a refund. No, because you got the product. You can't like, you downloaded it. You have a copy of it. It's not like you're returning the physical product. You downloaded it. It's on your computer. And so I think that's a little different.
The company has said it had to make some tough changes to compete with giants like Amazon, which spends more on marketing and has more repeat buyers. Its deteriorating reputation is another issue the company is fighting. Sellers have blamed the 2013 rule change allowing creators to outsource their production for what they call the junkification of Etsy. This isn't a new problem.
I don't see, this speaks to me because I am one of those AI generating people. I do, but I don't not everything. And there's certain things that, yes, I am one of those people that it's on Etsy that is generating AI art or AI designs and whatnot. So yes, I do use this. I feel I have the right to be there just like anybody else. So therefore it's still something I'm creating with tools regardless. So, I mean, and I am sending it to a print on demand shop. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not labeling it as handmade. So it is a little different. I don't know. Is it? There was no other option for it. You know what? If this is such a big deal, they should give a section that says AI generated. That's what they should do. And I would click on that. I don't care. I'm not hiding it. My stores all say combination of AI art with, digital. In other words, I use Photoshop and I use regular And why is my freaking camera in the way like this? Sorry. I use Photoshop and I use AI. I use different products to put it all together. So I don't see the problem. I think there's a difference between an AI artist and the people that they are talking about. Okay, so maybe it's just like complete bot stuff. Yeah, because I generate my stuff, but I take my time. I really work through trying to come up with a good design.
This isn't a new problem, but one that some say has gotten worse as the number of sellers grows.
I want to show you the sadness on Etsy and what it's become.
Legault went viral for her TikTok exposing many of the top Etsy shops as dropshippers, or
Ooh.
sellers who make the designs but outsource the labor to another company. Some designs are made with AI-generated images. Dropshippers are able to mass-produce items like t-shirts, stickers, and stationery. Others just sell supplies like beads.
Beads, yeah. Because I can buy prompts from pennies on the dollar, generate and sit back and work on my part. Yeah, that you mean the people that, yes, I get that. Like, for example, I have an account with Creative Fabrica. And Creative Fabrica, there's tons of things that I can just download and push and sell, but I don't do that. I've only ever gone to Creative Fabrica to grab something because of something I'm creating, and then I'll put it together with it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I understand, though, the difference.
Comment to CNBC. Etsy said that it recognizes its current definition of handmade includes a broad spectrum of items and will clarify its policies to be more transparent about what belongs on Etsy in the coming months.
There are some like old school people in there, very few, but every click I was like, what is it? Cups, again, cups, and then another, I click again.
Yeah, but are you making, this is the thing, this is, like they get mad because they see all these tumblers that are made with, AI design and stuff. Are you hand making freaking cups? Is that your store? I mean, are you hand making cups that you're worried about the people that are doing AI generated designs on mugs? Because if you're not hand making mugs and cups, what the hell do you care? This is like, this doesn't make sense. And besides, these mugs are bought blank and you have to put a design on them. Whether you designed that design by hand on Photoshop or whether you created digitally through AI, it's not a fucking difference. It's like, unless you are purchasing a bundle from someone of 100 ready-made images to put, that's different. I think that's screwed up. That's drop shipping also. That's what, at least that's what I think.
It's cups again, and I'm just like, how is this possible? I get that it's business, but it's so not how I want to do business.
Though this comes at odds with the company's mission, it is not necessarily bad for its finances.
If people are buying it, then there's not a lot of incentive for management to change that.
There you go. See, that's what it is.
Apparently.
That's what it is. People are buying it, so therefore they're making money. Etsy's not going to get rid of it. If Etsy gets rid of that, oh man, they're going to lose a lot of revenue. Right now, they can't stand to lose that revenue. I love them for the KDP interiors and fonts, but yeah, I can download prompts on there and generate, and it sits wrong with me. Yeah, no, I agree. I like to get their stuff a lot for personal use, like stuff that I can use for myself. But it's funny is because it's only because I'm being lazy and I can't create it myself, because most of the time I can create that stuff for myself without having it anywhere else.
But of course, you are going to risk alienating the people who started with the platform.
I think we do pay attention when sellers object to some of the policy or pricing changes, but I don't think it's had any impact on their business.
Etsy said it removed 115% more listings for violating company policy in the first quarter 2024 than the year prior.
I think it's a category thing. I think they need to, like I said, separate handmade as its own category. If you are looking for true handmade stuff that's made by hand by an artist, whether it's a crafted art or if it's a painted art or whatever like that, I think that should be in a whole category on its own. It deserves to be in a category all on its own. And then you can have one for print on demand. Everything else is print on demand or AI generated art. Therefore, you can see where are people really buying, which category are they buying from. And that's really the way you can label it. But if you have everything categorized under handmade art, even with a production assistant as a label that you put in, it doesn't help. I need to hire Brunk to make stuff for me. That's what I need to do. Yes, you do need to do that. Brunk makes good stuff. I won't take offense that you would not consider me for your stuff, but that's okay. I'm not going to take offense to that. Thank you very much. But yes, I've gotten stuff from Brunk, so I would not disagree with that.
We've always taken down.
I'll cry in a
items for not
corner,
complying with
but
not handmade.
you know,
That's
and I
always
won't
been
let
a
you know.
focus, but we've been getting better technology and investing a lot in that.
As Etsy tries to compete with e-commerce,
And I'm
giants
still
like
waiting for my
eBay or
cheese and beer.
Amazon, the path for being both successful and loyal to its core principles is unclear.
Can you be Etsy while also having the pressures of a public company? Should it have gone public? I mean, it depends on who you ask.
Etsy's CEO says the company is still trying to engage and retain current buyers, half of whom only shop on Etsy once per year. The 7 million artists are what the company was founded on, and without them, Etsy is perhaps no longer Etsy, or offers what buyers are looking for anymore.
Many sellers feel trapped. They're not really making enough profit margin on Etsy anymore. But
No, they're not. You want to listen to me be picky about my planner needs? No, you will not. Brunk is patient. Okay. Good luck with that. Real. Oh, all right. If that's what you think. I'm not even gonna touch that one. All right, whatever.
because Etsy's still there, it's very hard for alternatives to grow, right? So they've kind of really taken over this space and then shifted and are now like still sitting in that space.
In February 2024,
You remember that comment, all
activist
right?
investor Elliott Management built a 13% stake in the company, the largest of any investor, earning it a board seat. Stocks shot up more than 10% on the news.
We haven't really seen a ton yet as far as what the impact will be from that. But generally, public market investors generally do applaud activists being involved because it perhaps is an outside opinion kind of coming into a room. I actually think the most likely case is Etsy will find a way to use that AI to help their sellers. And then perhaps it'll be a way to kind of build up trust, which is like, let us set the price.
I think what also they're missing is that we are not into having these third parties. Like, I want to work directly with my printer. I want to work with other artists. I want to collaborate. I want to do these things in the way that makes me feel human.
Ultimately, some major changes could shake up the company if it can't boost profits or innovate fast enough. In February 2024, it introduced a one-time seller fee of $15 for new shops, which it said helped boost revenue in its Q1 results.
If ultimately, you know, the outlook for the company is 5, 6%, 7% revenue growth and not 13% revenue growth, they probably would restructure their expenses. Could they shrink the size of the organization, have more layoffs, increase the margin? I mean, generally, scaled marketplaces can operate at margins higher than Etsy's operating at today.
I don't know. They've got a bunch of issues, man. I honestly don't know if they're going to survive this next year unless something dramatically changes. Because it is, I mean, a lot of people are feeling like, I'm going to try something else. They have a great marketplace because they have so many eyeballs, and it's great to be, you know, if you get seen and whatnot, the possibilities of selling on there is great. It's amazing. But there's still things that like rub people the wrong way, and so more and more people are starting to go elsewhere. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Let's see. Just got one last thing to talk about here. I'm done. And you know what I'm going to do after this? In a moment, I'm going to end this stream because coffee chat is coffee chat. And then we're going to do a let's play stream. We'll do some Scum. We'll see if Scum is even playable in 2024. Is it worth playing? We will see. All right, let me read some of these comments. What do we got? Hyde thinks Bronk loves her, not me. Okay, that's fine. You go there. That's fine. I'm not, just remember that. I'll be honest, if I were to open a shop, I don't think I would use Etsy. Yeah, I think more and more I'm starting. I like the fact that I started on Etsy because it gave me a comfortable, easy starting point. But I think that I would want to do it now separate from there. And I think like my next step now is going to be coffee. Like I'll be doing it through coffee. And then eventually I'll do a Shopify. And I really, after this, hopefully this summer I'll do it. I really am going to start focusing on doing Instagram, like you said, YouTube Shorts, Instagram things, starting marketing myself more on social media, and not solely depend on, okay, it's on Etsy, somebody will see it. I think that was okay for the first year because I wanted to like try to get out there, kind of understand the business, understand what I'm doing, understand the workflow, the ideas, what works, what doesn't work. And now I'm like kind of like, okay, this is I need to change something. Next level shit. If I had to do it over, I'd make a Shopify store, but Etsy has such a big customer base, I'd really have a hard time having to buy eyeballs. Well, the thing is, like, that's the thing. You have to drive an audience. So you'd have to spend a lot of time on your, not only your SEO, but you'd have to really do Google ads, maybe Facebook ads, maybe, Instagram, whatever. And then you'd have to really do a lot of social media marketing. Just marketing will be a full-time thing. And if you're a one-man shop, unless you've already created the products and you have the products out and ready to go, and then you can just focus on marketing, that's one thing. But if you're creating the product still and you're trying to market at the same time, it's hard. You can't do both. You have to have somebody else doing that for you. If you can navigate the Pinterest SEO, it's a very good place to get eyes on your products. You know, it's funny because I hear mixed things about Pinterest. On one side, I hear it's really great for marketing products, and on another side, I hear Pinterest is dead. No one really uses it anymore. And it's like, okay, so what is the truth there? I don't know. I guess everybody, your miles may vary. What is it? Your outcome may vary, whatever the hell it is. Etsy gives me free organic traffic, and that's my major hang up. Yeah, I agree with that. The other thing I thought about is like some of the stuff that you make. I mean, this will take having inventory. This will take having to order stuff. But like, I know there's arts and crafts stores that happen. Like I know here on the weekends, every week we have a green market and there's shops that sell items, like sell regular things. They're crafts. And I'm thinking, I start wondering if I should just put up a little craft shop and, get some printed pieces out there, or maybe some printed, print on demand products, some t-shirts, some canvases, whatever, just something out there, and then people come by and buy it. But that will demand a little bit of investment in having inventory on hand. In fact, it was Pinterest that landed me on 2 of my planner sellers. Oh, interesting. I know that's one of the things for digital printables that people were saying you use Pinterest. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's hit or miss. I've used Pinterest for years to drive users to my Etsy shop, and it's never really worked for me. That's what I mean. For some people it works, for others it doesn't. And you've been doing it for like a very long time. Yeah, I don't have the time or budget for all of that. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's kind of hard to do the marketing and the design. I mean, marketing is a full-time job. It is. But here's the thing. If you're using ChatGPT, you can have it create your marketing for you. So you have less time creating it. You just have to know where to post it. That's all. That's it. That's all you need. I mean, seriously, it's true though. You could use it. You could also sell on Pinterest. I didn't know that. That's interesting. So, speaking of making money, you guys see this? Nvidia is up 1,056 per share. You see, this is crazy. So if you haven't heard yet, Nvidia is actually splitting. So they're going to split 10 to 1 starting in, I believe in June 7th or June 10th, one of the two. And they are actually going to go 10 for 1. So if you, so if you have one share, after the split, you'll have 10 shares. And if you have one share that's worth $1,000, your shares will be worth $100 each. So you'll still have the same amount. But if the stock is doing well, and by the way, they've been doing really well. Their earnings have been exceeding all expectations, and they're continuing to grow up. They're up to a $2.58 trillion market cap. And just to give you an idea, that's around close to where Apple's at. And Microsoft is at 3 point something trillion. And so therefore it's getting into those big numbers. And if it continues to spread this, going up that way, they're thinking that it's going to be up into $3 trillion worth. So the fact that it goes down to being $100 a share or around that makes it available to other smaller investors, people that want to get in the game, but they're unable to get in the game at $1,000 a share, or they can only get a fraction. So therefore, that's going to be a good thing. So I'm really excited about this because I've got a number of shares in there, and that means I'm going to have a lot more. And I'm thinking to myself, if we go the days of Google, where when Google split, it still continued to grow, and they split a couple of times. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, if it goes down to 100, I can buy some. I'll probably buy some more. Whether I buy it now or then doesn't really matter. It's the same difference. Like I thought, I'll buy another share now. It'll be more, and then there'll be 10 more shares later. Doesn't really matter. The whole point is, I'll wait. I'll buy more shares at the low price, and then who knows? In the next few months, maybe by the end of the year, it'll go up another 100. It'll go up another couple of hundreds. Who knows? I'll double my money. I'll be happy. So we don't know, but I do believe that it is going to continue to go up. I think when I first saw this, it was 1,017, and that was 2 days ago, and it's 1,057 today. So damn. So anyways, I'm going to keep an eye on that. I've been keeping an eye on my portfolio lately, a great deal, just because you never know. Things have to change. I think you both offer products that would do well at cons, but they are a lot of work. Yeah, and so that's the thing. I think, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Like when it comes to, like, I think Brink would do really well at conventions, especially like comic book conventions or anything like that. I mean, if he did, I remember, where the hell is that video, Brink? I gotta find it again. There's a video that you did on the YouTube, and it was painting that. Hold on a second. What the hell was that called? You were painting like it was like a Viking ship or a Viking design or something, and you were painting it. That freaking art, man, that's amazing. And so I'm thinking to myself, see, Brink has the capability of having a few pieces and going to like making a bunch of 8x10s and making like different sizes of them, and he can go to a convention or arts and craft and sell them, because they're all handmade. He would do amazing at that. And I really think he should do that. See, for me, because I'm not doing handmade art, and even if I am designing through AI, mine are more for t-shirts and whatnot, I could not sell mine because there's so many people that are against AI art. They'll be like, you don't deserve to be here. This is for arts and craft, and that's not art. That's AI. Get out. And so I'm going to get those people. And I'm going to be like, I'm going to get into a fight. I'm going to get arrested. So there you go. Did you just greenlight me to attend Star Citizen Con? No, come on. Damn it. That's not what she said. All right. Anyhow, so that's what's happening in the news. By the way, if you've been keeping an ear out, the DLC for Elden Ring is approaching. It will be out next month on the 21st. I will be partaking in that, by the way. I will be partaking with that, and I will be really excited. And I've been wondering whether or not I should play Elden Ring now to kind of get myself ready and used to it, because I am really afraid of how much I'm going to die in this new one. Yeah, it's going to be entertaining. So that is coming up. Not going to talk about that. All right, I think that's all I got. All right. Oh, you guys got anything on your mind you want to talk about? Ask. Anything at all? Anything? Star Citizens Convention is still going on, the expo. If you want to rent some ships, I hear their new ships being available every day. But I'm not into renting ships, so I'm not going to be there. I just bought Galacticare. Super excited to play that. Galacticare. Let me see. What? Is that the one? Oh, yes. Wait a second. There was somebody offering codes for this. I actually wanted to play this. I don't think I got a code for it though. It's kind of like a, isn't it the, it's like 2 Point Hospital? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like 2 Point Hospital and campus, so very hyped for it. Yeah, that's what I thought. And it's alien related. Can I go to the next one? How do I do go to the next one? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I remember. Yeah, I definitely would play this. I was hoping I got a, damn, maybe we should play this. All right, vote. Should I play this today or should I play Scum? I really want to play this. Oh, this is super cool, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, I saw this the other day and I thought about it. There was somebody that was offering this on Twitter. I never got I don't think I got a response. And they were looking for people that were interested in streaming it or whatever. Obviously, I'm not a big streamer, so they don't want me. Yeah, I don't see it. Damn. Wait a second. Let me see if my... No, I don't see it. There was another company called Big Time that was, or is a game named Big Time, and they were sending me offers to play their game. I never knew who they were or what they were, so I did not. Scum, let's see how far gone it is. Oh, nice. Okay. Hold on one second. Before we move over to that, let me just check one last thing. What was I looking for? I completely forgot now. Oh, yeah, Gmail. See if I have anything in my email that may be like, hey, here's the code. Nope. I don't see it. I gotta go through my email. I have way too much email. I have like 1,200 emails I gotta go through. Okay, let's do this. So let's go ahead and end here. I think we're done for the coffee chat part. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back with some gameplay. We're gonna do some Scum, kind of see if where Scum's at for 2024, if it's worth playing or not. And we will see what it looks like. You know, whatever. It is what it is. So let's play in a few minutes. So I'm gonna take a moment, shut this down, get myself a drink of water, nothing else. And then we'll come back up, fire up the new stream, and we'll go from there. Thanks for hanging out with me on this coffee chat. It is Friday. It is just news. So it's kind of like, blah, 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 blah. Nah, thanks for hanging out. You know, one of those. So either way, I appreciate you being here. I will remember the things that you said that were mean, Hyde. And so I will forever have them in my head and in my heart. And I'll be very sad, but that's okay. I still live on because I'm like a goldfish. I have a 10-second memory. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Other than that, take care of yourselves. If I don't see you in the next one, and I don't see you until Monday, have a great weekend. Do something fun. Take care of yourself. And as always, make sure you hit that like button and hit subscribe if you're not already. Help me out. Come on. I'm not asking you for money. That's not money. That's just your time. That's just clicky. You can do that. All right. So I'll see you in the next one. Until then, I'm out. Peace.